if I do.
Covino and Rich. Are you ready?
Honestly, how do I deal with you every day?
Get ready.
You've heard all about it on the radio.
Get ready.
Whoa! Yeah!
Holy mother nugget! And holy mother meatball! Can't knock the hustle.
I'm the smartest man alive! You're so ridiculous. What? You're such a fool. Get out of here.
Oh, I'm a disc jockey.
What's a disc jockey?
Turn it up. Turn the show. Here we go. Covino and Rich.
Let's go!
All right. Let's go!
LFG, bro. LFG. Welcome to the show, Covino and Rich, on an action-packed Wednesday, hump day, April 27th. Hump. Halfway through the week already. Look at that.
Morning, everybody.
I'm already excited for the weekend.
Morning, Spot.
You know when I say I'm excited for the weekend? Good morning. You know what I'm really excited for? Because our weeks are pretty much cake. I mean, are they weeks or cake? I don't know. Is it cake? I think it's cake.
Oh, no, dude.
But what I'm really saying is I'm just excited to drink. That's the only difference.
Oh,
Let's rock it out. Drinking and rocking out. That is what I do. Not always responsibly. Wow. I do it responsibly. Wow. I love a nice drink and rocking out. Wow. Oh, yeah. It's what I do once the weekend hits. Eat my buzz. Eat my grumpy. Welcome to the show.
Grumpy.
You see what I'm saying, though? Like, I get all fired up for
I was wondering that.
Friday, but my
Grumpy.
Friday's no different than my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Well,
to be honest.
keep
the
in
only
mind-
difference is I sit back on one and enjoy a cocktail. Fruit, right, Ian Kennedy? Right, Ian Kennedy?
The only day you're not really working is Saturday because we work
Grumpy.
Monday through Friday, and then you work on Sunday for Fox Sports Radio. So Saturday's the only day where you could sort of 100% mentally check out.
Friday night.
But is it
and
more about,
Saturday
yeah, but
night.
like Friday night going into Saturday, is it more about having a cocktail? Or is it more about like, I could like check out from not having to look things up, no radio to record, nothing
Sleeping
to.
late is always fun, but that's all relative to the size of your steeple and how many kids you have, right? Rich doesn't get to sleep in on a Saturday or Sunday. So when I say I'm excited for the weekend, I'm really just excited to unwind with a whiskey business.
Are you excited to rock on?
Always. Rock on! Always. So it's Wednesday, which
Did you
means...
see what he added to this greatness?
What did he add?
Not only you rock it on,
What do you mean?
not only you rock it on, but now
Oh, did you add him on the jet skis?
I'm on a jet ski
Oh,
now?
I missed it.
Oh.
I mean, not the jet skis, the water skis.
that shit is hilarious.
If you're not watching, man, you're missing out. I'm on a boat, and Rich is on a pair of water skis.
That's fantastic. I jumped the shark long ago. So, yeah, it's not complaining. I really don't care. I'm not one to sleep in much anyway, but yeah, when you got two little kids, my version of sleeping in is, Sarah, I'll meet you in the living room in a little bit. Can you give me an extra 20 and just go inside with the kids? That's sort of my version of sleeping in, but
Right.
I'm not one to sleep past 8 or 9 anyway. Like that's
Here's the thing. Here's the thing I wrestle with and rustle with. You say rustle with, right?
Yeah, you could say that.
No.
I rustle like Kurt with
Tussle?
this one. I rustle and tussle with this debate. I've asked a lot of friends.
You
from
rustle like
Handsome
Wilson.
Gabe. I asked friends from Handsome Gabe to my buddy Gus. I've been taking polls lately. That's what she said.
Yeah, these many polls haven't been taken since Rich in the early 2000s.
Thank you.
In the early 2000s.
It's true. Because what I'm trying to say is the way I practice discipline or discipline is that I don't start drinking. I don't have a drink. I don't really touch alcohol unless it's Friday night or I'm starting a weekend early on a Thursday night because I'm feeling like a college kid. I'm throwing it back. And, of course, the rare occasion where you go on a dinner on a Tuesday night or something like that. But for the most part, I do not drink throughout the week. So when it's quitting time, closing time, Mr. Slate blows the whistle. I come sliding down to Brontosaurus. I grab a burger and I drink a cocktail. And I get excited about that. But I've been asking other people, other friends, Rich, yo, what's your system? Because, like, what's too much? Because I kind of want one every night. That's the thing.
Do it.
Would you believe all of my friends, from Handsome Gabe to my friend Gus? Yeah, every night. I'm like, every night? Where's your discipline?
Who needs discipline?
What makes your weekend any different then at that point, right? Like because if you're unwinding every day and every night, then what do you look forward to on Friday night and Saturday night? So I don't know how to handle that because a part of me wants to say, you know what? I've had a stressful week. Wednesday night, I'm going to have a nice old-fashioned right now. An old-fashioned while taking an old-fashioned. An old-fashioned grumpy. You know what that means? You leave the phone in the bedroom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Grumpy.
You just sit there all grumpy, old-fashioned, just staring at the wall.
Read
sipping on one.
the shampoo bottle.
Yeah, read the shampoo bottle, have a few sips. You sit there all angry, but you're relaxing. See, the more I investigate this, guys, the more I realize that life is stressful, as we discussed yesterday, and people unwind. And I'm not saying in a bad way. I'm not saying irresponsibly. I'm not saying, he's 3 sheets to the wind. He's drunk as a skunk. I'm not talking be an alcoholic. And I'm not saying if you have an issue to embellish on that. I'm saying if you could have a drink a night, is that okay? Or is that too much? Because it all adds up.
I think that there's something to be said about what Ryan just said on our feedback.
I don't do it.
I think I would drink more if I didn't care about
Calories?
getting a belly.
Liquid calories?
Yeah.
Well, it depends what you drink.
I don't understand everyone's consumption of beer. And I was thinking that this weekend. Everyone just grabbing cases of beer, chugging beers. I feel like ever since I learned that one beer was equivalent to 7 slices of bread.
Yeah.
I just can't.
That's
when I saw our buddies,
honestly, I'd rather have 7 slices of bread.
When I saw our buddies,
little everything but the bagel seasoning, I'd rather have that.
Was it CJ and someone else? A couple of our buddies in Vegas jumped off of the little party bus. They came back in with a couple cases of Coors Light and they're like throwing around beers like they're Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I'm like,
my vanity says no way, Jose.
It's
to that.
so heavy.
I was like, I'll sip on one, but they were guzzling beers, and all I kept thinking was the same as you, Spot. I'm like, if I'm gonna have these type of calories in carb form, I'm like, I'd rather eat a loaf of bread.
Yeah, I'd rather eat a sandwich.
I'd rather toast up a big loaf of like garlic bread and be
But if you're having vodka soda or rum and diet, or
even a glass of wine, like they say, they say a glass of wine has health benefits.
I don't know.
Glass of red wine a day.
This is how I balance my life and how I practice discipline. But I realized again more and more, a lot of people don't do that because you're an adult and you're like, well, fuck it, I want to drink Wednesday night. I'm gonna have 1, maybe 2. Why not? I'm an adult. I could do that. Again, I'm saying if you do this responsibly.
Yeah.
Right? If you could handle it. Everyone is different. But I'm realizing that I'm sort of punishing myself sometimes. Or is that discipline a good thing? Because it makes me look forward to the weekend.
Well, on your
It
Friday
balances
night,
my life.
even though it's Wednesday, Spot, can you play the song? I think this song is catchy as hell. It's not new, but you talk about Friday night. Friday?
I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about drinking.
Yeah, but you would talk about getting into the weekend.
I'm just kidding.
The song is by Nightcrawlers and Riton.
No, I definitely wasn't talking about that.
You know this song probably. Friday by Nightcrawlers and
Are there
Riton.
trumpets involved? Because if there's no trumpets,
It might be. There might be some trumpets because it does have that vibe to it.
If it doesn't have like Latin trumpets, I'm not interested.
This one, practice.
Saturday, Sunday.
That's a remix, That's a sample.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There's like 3 different songs going on in this song.
I hear.
I know.
I thought the hands of time would change me.
There's like 3 different songs going on.
That's why I like it. It's a good remix.
Oh, it is. It's great.
What song is that?
Show me
That's
love.
like
Robin.
S.
Robin S. Show me love.
Couldn't hear some clicking for a second. All right,
That's why I like that DJ Khaled remix of Lotto and Mariah Carey, Spot.
Yes.
That's my shit.
And Tom Tom Club.
Well, let me wrap it up by saying this. I'm not judging anybody. I'm not. I'm going to say that I'm envious for my friends that, like even Handsome Gabe, he drinks responsibly. He sits there at a studio enjoying an old-fashioned like every night.
Sometimes he sips a whiskey neat.
Yeah, sips it, savors it, enjoys it. That's a beautiful thing. I'm into it. He does that all the time. I envy that. But I still choose to balance my life with limiting myself to only weekends, unless, of course, special occasions.
Yeah.
In which I shared an old fashioned with Gabe on Tuesday or on Monday. Was that Monday? It was Monday. So I don't know. How do you do it? What's the balance? Does it change over time? Does it change over weeks? Because you had a stressful one. Spawn.
Since my new nutritional and fitness regime, don't drink anymore. I'll drink like maybe once a month if I'm at home. Outside of that, it's only for events.
Yeah, but I enjoy my drinks.
I know you do,
Yeah.
but I no longer go to a drink to relax at the end of the day.
And by the way, Uncle Tito, I've had
So
a
I'm an
nice run.
exception.
I've had a nice. You are an exception. I've had a nice run with Uncle Tito and soda, but I really think my most relaxing drink is an old fashioned, just whiskey, just savoring sippy sips, and feeling relaxed. And I look forward to that.
I don't want to sound
And I'm
like
2 days away.
I don't want to sound like big pussy Pastore.
Yeah, I know you don't like it.
I don't want to sound like
I'm at that stage. I'm not golfing yet. I'm not, smoking cigars like Brandon Ellenberger and Joe Burrow.
Cigars do nothing for me.
But I'm definitely a whiskey savorer.
I don't want to sound like
Monk's Road, right, Mauser? Monk's Road.
I feel like I'm pretending to be someone else if I smoke a cigar. Like it does nothing for me.
I don't want to sound like I don't want to sound lame, but I'm with Spot in that I drink on the occasion that calls for it. Barbecue, dinner with friends, date night. I will never
So
pour
then
a
on
drink.
that Friday night.
But you take an edible every night.
When Mr. Slate
And I'm not saying
finally
edible is
blows the
alcohol.
whistle, what do you look forward to? If it's not that? Pizza?
Look forward to on the weekend?
Like what signifies
he
that
takes-
it's the weekend when your life is so cush already?
He just takes an extra edible.
And
I
even
had a
so,
thought on that.
even if your life isn't cush, if you work hard all week, that it's like a Pavlov's dog sort of thing. That drink signifies weekend is here.
Huh.
So I'm asking you, if it's not a drink, is it the edible? Is it you get to catch up on Better Call Saul? For me, it's when that whiskey touches these lips.
I think for me, the indication that weekend's here is probably eating something shitty without regret. Like, all right, it's Friday night. Kids are going, let's get the kids to sleep early.
So it's like
I'm going to go get Taco Bell. Like, yo, babe, I'm going to go get a couple gordita crunches.
Here,
Yeah, like, I'm like, when Friday night hits, I'm like, all right, I will, without regret, go house some Taco Bell or something like that.
I see. I could.
To me, that's the
understand.
feeling. Like, because then I'm like, that's the weekend. Who
All right,
cares?
So it's the same thing.
But what
for
relaxes you?
His
the first bite of that Taco Bell.
Really?
The gordita crunch.
Euphoric.
All right.
Oh, by the way, next month, the Mexican pizza coming back.
I heard. Thanks to Dolly Parton.
No,
Hey.
thanks to Doja Cat.
Rich, when I see you bite into
No,
a gordita
Dolly
crunch,
Parton.
I'm always confused. Is it really hot or is Rich in euphoria? Because he's like,
Is it a cheesy gordita crunch or is it a gordita crunch and I'm just eating it?
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. So
But
anyway, the drink work, the drink life balance is something that's always on my mind, but it's got to be like balance, like Jack Palance.
For me, it's a couple times a week. I'll pop an edible before bed just to get a good night's sleep. But on the weekend, you know what I realized last night? I was like, let me test my limit a little bit on the edibles, and I took another 5. What would it be?
Milligrams?
Yeah, milligrams, and
Inches,
it hit the
like the early 2000s.
in the early 2000s. I took an extra 5 milligrams, and it took me from relaxed to like, ooh, I felt like fucking octopus arms. Ooh.
Here it is.
And I loved it. It was great. Sarah and I were like, yeah, let's take a little more tonight.
Oh,
So-
that's the gateway.
So that's
Yeah.
how you.
To me, that's how I relax. I
that's
relax
how
with it. I
you
relax with an
kick into
edible.
weekend mode.
Yeah, in my mind, it's I've convinced myself, and
So you're telling me then, based on your theory,
What
like my
is
buddy
it?
Gus, right?
Yeah.
I could talk to him. I'll talk to him tonight, Wednesday night. Wednesday night, Gus, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just having a drink, chilling, right? I'm like, oh, Wednesday night you're drinking? Interesting. So you're telling me on Friday night he's having like double the
Well,
drinks.
depending on who you ask,
Triple
right?
the
Depending on who you
That
ask.
adds up, bro. If you have one drink every day,
Depends on who
Monday
you
night
ask.
drink, that's 5 days, right? Then the weekend comes in, you step it up. It's a lot of
At least
drinks.
2.
Yeah, even if you double it.
Like,
5, 6, 7,
what is-
8. That's 9 drinks a week.
I have a question.
That's 36 drinks a month.
What does he say to the doctor when he goes in and they're like,
How many drinks do you have a week?
How many drinks would you say you have a week? 10 to 15?
Yeah.
I feel embarrassed when I say like more than one.
That's why I'm saying I'm not judging, man, but I,
don't
do
know.
think about it a lot.
I'm asking a serious question.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's a problem at all, what you're saying. But I wonder if when you get your physical and they're like, hey, do you smoke? How much do you weigh? Let's take your height. How old are you? 40-something? All right. How many drinks do you have a week? What is the doctor's answer of fucking preference? If you say,
A week? No,
because the
if
doctor-
he asked me, I would say I only drink on the weekends or socially.
that's
what
not
I
an
would
answer.
say.
If the doctor goes, how many drinks a week do you have? And you go,
would say,
doc, I don't know.
4,
Doc.
5, maybe 4 or 5. I don't drink a lot.
I don't think the doc's going to say that's an issue. But I
Yeah.
think if you told, there's a guy I play softball with.
I say one a month, and I'm proud of that.
There's a guy I play
month.
softball with that I feel like this guy
Except
talks
this
about
month.
like drinking. He drinks like a 6-pack, 12-pack of beer every day. And I'm like, yeah, that's an issue.
That's.
Yeah.
Are you in? That's what I'm saying.
If you go
when
through a
does it
handle
become-
of, if you go through a handle of Tito's frequently,
I would argue.
I was doing that during the pandemic.
I
You know how you would have bottles that lasted a long time? They didn't last as long during the pandemic.
I know life can be stressful, right? Obviously, we all have stressors in our life. Everyone has a stressor in their life. I just wonder, needing something to relax at the end of your day seems a little like dependent or codependent or whatever the expression is behavior. It doesn't seem right. Like me, at the end of my day, you know what I do? I watch a little TV. Maybe that's my relaxing thing. But I watch a little TV, my eyes start to droop. I go into the other room and I go to bed.
Spot, you're right, but that's why I practice this
need-
discipline.
Anything.
That's why I don't want to
Maybe-
feel reliant on. I can't sleep unless I have a drink. So I
like
only do it
wake-
on the weekend.
Like, and I don't have a hard. I know I don't have a hard job, so I know some people work hard jobs.
in
I
the
wake-
mill,
but maybe like
on the patch.
doing physical activity. Like I go for my walks now. I make my money walks. I go to the gym. So at the end of the day, I'm tired. You guys have kids. I would think at the end of the day, you would just want to sit down and just go.
I have a lot more energy than you, bro. And that's not a knock on you.
I mean, you do have even with my shots, you have twice the testosterone than I have.
I mean, Rich has more energy than
most humans.
most humans alive.
I just don't. That's it. It's a what is it? Undiagnosed ADD.
I'm sure
Is
it's
it
gotta
something
be.
that's not?
I'm sure.
He's
for
the most
me,
hyper guy ever.
I have zero problems relaxing in any scenario.
Listen, I
I'll
started
relax right now.
I started playing softball with these new dudes.
Squeeze one out.
I started hanging out with these new dudes like in the early 2000s,
Grumpy.
and
You have to do like an accent. It's like
I could tell from hanging out with this newer group of dudes playing softball on Tuesday nights. I could tell already they're all looking at me like, "Yo, this guy's what's with this guy?"
Yeah, you're a strange cat.
No, but like I'm getting along with everyone, and I have a whole story about it I'm going to share later.
Yeah.
But I do get the sense that like they're like, "This guy's fucking fired up."
I mean, you're a nice and swell fella, but you're peculiar for sure when it comes to like your mannerisms and your behavior. Like, wait, you're like, hold on, is this guy on speed? What's
What's with this guy?
yeah? Hold on, he's
my-
moving faster
like
than everybody else.
I think of a situation. I'm sorry. I think of a situation like this weekend when we went to Vegas, right? Especially on Friday. On Friday, I let loose. And what did that mean? I had like 5 drinks, and in the morning,
I heard you were acting a fool though.
I was acting a fool.
See, but I don't act a fool ever.
I was hungover the next day. I think I had like 10 drinks if I really calculated it. But still, I let loose. So I wonder, how do people who are having drinks every day and 2 to 3 drinks every night on the weekend letting loose?
That's what I'm saying. It
What's
must be
letting
next
loose to them?
level.
You have to.
Are they drinking 20 drinks when they go to
Balance, guys.
Vegas?
Balance. I'm not judging.
What's letting loose?
I'm not judging, but I treat it like pizza. Of course, I want pizza every day of the week. I do. I want pizza right now. But like Rich, I limit it to like Friday, Saturday night, if that.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then
And that's when I have my drinks. That makes me look forward to the weekend.
yeah.
So we're a few days away.
To
We're
me-
halfway there.
my edible life has nothing to do with like trying to feel a certain way. It really is to
Is that it?
sleep.
Is that a show on TLC?
My edible life. It really is about falling asleep. Like last night, I slept fantastic. I I toss and turn if I will not get to sleep.
I didn't sleep for shit last night.
I will not sleep unless I will not sleep well unless I have an edible. And I'm fine with that.
I was up all night, like Gilbert Godfrey. Rest in peace.
But that's not.
I don't want to take melatonin. Gives me weird dreams.
I know.
And shit.
Hold on. And same. Melatonin.
Melatonin's like weird. It gives me weird feels.
It seems, and I'm not singling you out, Rich. I'm saying everyone that needs it. Like I enjoy it. I don't need.
There's a difference
Same.
between needing it,
but I want it really.
Wanting it and
you
doing it.
need it. You're like
that's
you just
ridiculous
said,
because weeks will go by. Weeks will go by, or if I'm out of town, I'm not like I was in Vegas over the weekend. I just got shittier night's sleep, and I was fine. I wasn't like
you just said the words.
Edibles.
I can't get a good night's sleep without edibles.
I can't sleep through the night.
That sounds dependent. Just like people that can't go through a night without having a drink. That's dependent behavior.
Oh no, you're missing. Yeah. It's not dependent.
That's why the balance is important because some people are just okay with dependent behavior, and I don't want to ever feel that way.
I think you're missing the point.
Spot
it's not about being dependent because dependent would mean
I'm not singling you out.
When people, no, I'm saying like when people are quote addicted to it and they're dependent on it. Like if I'm telling you that if I don't have an edible, I'll sleep. But I'll probably wake up a couple times through the night, toss and turn.
If I
get
don't
up
do
twice, get up twice.
If I don't do a bump of cocaine in the morning, I won't have energy to get through my day.
Get up twice to pee.
That's dependent behavior.
But if I take an edible, I'll go to sleep and wake up in the morning like, oh, I didn't wake up in the middle of the night.
Aren't you proving his point though?
Yeah, but dependent would be like when I don't have it.
By definition, Rich.
But I feel like you're.
I'm not singling you out. I'm saying
but I feel like
that needs anything to do something.
When you say dependence, I assume you're talking about like
Rich is singled out like Jenny McCarthy in the early 2000s.
Was Chris Hardwick also on that?
Yes, he was. And Carmen Electra.
I just look at it like
maybe that's not the is it codependency?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's like
no, that's
well, we don't have to like dive so deep on this conversation.
Yeah, what Kelly Cookson made a great point. She goes, Rich is saying he doesn't crave it. Like alcoholics crave alcohol. Drug addicts
chemical dependency.
Drug addicts are like scratching themselves like, I need my crack. I don't need my edibles. I'm saying that if I go to sleep tonight without taking an edible, it's like if you have a headache, yeah, you could get by without Advil, but if you have a pounding headache, wouldn't taking Advil help your headache? It's an aid, essentially, right?
Chemical dependency is characterized by the physical body's dependence on the substance. Addiction is associated with chemical changes in the brain that result in irrational and uncontrollable behaviors around obtaining and using the substance.
See, so there's
so
not
you
that.
Would say you can't sleep unless you get something.
No, you just described something that was not me at all. Listen to what you just said. Try like having to obtain the substance. Like you make it sound like I'm going around like.
According to the DSM 4-5,
and everyone else is interpreting it the same way.
The 304.30 cannabis dependency, 303.90 alcohol dependency.
Like
it's in the DSM.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you're missing my point. It's a matter of like, if I told you,
you're right. You know what?
Get a massage and your neck will feel better.
Okay.
Right?
That's called physical therapy.
You could get a massage, your neck will feel better. But if you don't, you'll be fine, but you're like, yeah, my neck's a little stiff. Like I went to the joint yesterday to get adjustment. I was a little tight. So I went to the chiropractor. I didn't have to go to the chiropractor. I would have been fine, but going to the chiropractor loosened me up. I could have slept fine last night. But you know what? Popping an edible made me sleep really good last night. So it's not a dependency. It's like a helpful aid that'll make you feel better.
Yeah, there is no.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like when I travel. Like, I went to Vegas with you guys over the weekend. We were gone 3 days. I didn't bring edibles, and I wasn't bummed about it. I was like, oh, I didn't bring edibles.
You were also sloshed on alcohol.
Not really. Was I sloshed? I got a couple
sloshed.
Cocktails. I really.
Yeah, like
you were doing karaoke like a maniac.
Nicotine dependence. So like cigarettes.
Yeah. Look at it like gambling, right? Like I love gambling. There are times where I didn't gamble for a long time.
Alcohol dependence. That's me this weekend.
I think like gambling is a great example. Like I love gambling.
Look, it's Rich.
I love it. I love gambling.
Gambling's an addiction.
I love
like
it.
Lyle or like John Lovitz?
John Lovitz.
Or like Brother Love?
I'm Jimmy Moore, and that's not a sock in my pants.
Rich, you know how to stop yourself, albeit maybe a little bit beyond where you should stop yourself, but you know how to stop yourself. People with gambling addictions are at the casino at 6 a.m. Betting on craps.
That's my point. The ability to stop yourself is what is the difference between being addicted to it. Like, I bet football a lot, and then you know what I do? I'm like, I don't want to bet anymore. Like, I don't need to gamble if I don't want to, but I enjoy it.
Like,
there's a difference.
Like, I would argue, and a couple people have said it, while it's not an official addiction, coffee, I have a chemical dependence on coffee, and I fully and wholeheartedly admit it when I say, don't talk to me without my coffee. I think we all do. I think we all have a little bit of chemical dependency on coffee.
Oh, I do, because if I don't have it, I get headaches.
Same.
Yeah.
And that's a caffeine withdrawal.
Covfefe.
But caffeine is not considered a bad drug.
Like,
Hey, when I'm drinking my coffee, can you call me Covfefe?
No.
Just moving
I
forward.
just find
'Cause I think
it's-
Donald Trump is back.
Is he
Whether you
going to be
think-
back on Twitter?
Yeah, because Joe Rogan's saying, please come back, Donald Trump. I do want to talk more about the whole Twitter thing later.
Joe
maybe, if we have time.
Rogan also said that Amber Heard's a fucking maniac and he's team Johnny Depp. And I think a lot of people are starting to feel that way.
Well, look, enjoy responsibly is what I'm trying to say.
By
But
the way,
I
I'm not
often
being
think about...
holier than thou. I'm simply explaining
No,
the situation.
no one said you were holier,
Yes,
Spot.
Tom, I assume that's P-Brain Tom Baker.
Oh, is it P-Brain Tom Baker?
He can suck
I
my
love
dick.
that. I love that guy.
I often think about it. I envy people that throw caution to the wind and say, no, I drink what I want. I don't care what day it is. But I also take pride in the balance that I try to create. It's not easy, but I look forward to it. So we're halfway there, living on a prayer. It's Covino and Rich. Let's go.
Do you think by now Bon Jovi's maybe 3/4 of the way there?
He's got to be at least 3/4 of the way there.
I mean, when is he going to get there?
I have a question for you, Rich. Just jump right into it.
Yeah.
Forget about cocktails.
Fruit. I'm fascinated by, you know what, I think for me, it's just more a fascination of people's inability to truly understand that, like, recreational and medical marijuana products. Like, I think it really is wild to think, like, you're okay being like, oh, I'll take NyQuil or I'll take people are medicated for different things. Meanwhile, a little gummy of THC and CBD oil is like, well, now
I
you're,
could still become dependent on that, though. I'm not saying it's the worst thing ever.
but as far as like being bad for you or something, like alcohol will destroy your liver. Alcohol, like if you're,
That's right. We
if
said
you're drinking,
everything's a balance.
no, but if you're drinking whiskey every day, guzzling fucking bottles of booze, it's not good for you. Having an edible a few days a week is doing no harm to you.
It's not about harm. We're not talking about harm. We're talking about chemical dependency.
So what do you think's better? Having a few glasses of whiskey a few days a week or taking a couple edibles a week?
Becomes habitual and you become
What's
dependent.
better for you?
I don't think either are.
You're gonna argue that the one is not better?
In order to get cirrhosis of the liver, you need to be an extreme drinker.
But what do you think's better for your health? Drinking a few glasses of whiskey every couple nights a week, guzzling some
I
whiskey.
would say it's the same.
I would say neither are great for your health.
neither are great for your health. I would argue that.
But what's the
One is not-
what's the
one
negative
isn't
of
worse than the
what's the
other.
negative of a gummy with THC and CBD oil? What is the negative of that? I'm curious who told you something is negative about that?
Where's the positive of it?
Yeah, but alcohol
like-
is not good for your body. Like your body's not like
Says who?
Brett said weed actually has some good benefits. Alcohol
So does
has
wine.
none.
People say wine has great benefits all the time
Wine
for your
does.
heart.
Wine does. A glass of
Okay.
wine here and there is good, people say. Doctors will tell you. I'm fascinated by people's
I'm just
like, I
fascinated
guess you
on
would say
people's
ignorance
habits.
ignorance of the subject.
For
I think.
me, it's passionate and interest in people's habits.
And I'm
That's
not
all.
speaking. Yeah, I'm not
Like,
speaking.
every day?
about
Interesting.
the health benefits of what you're taking. I'm speaking about the dependency on what you're taking in order to do something else. Chemical dependency. And I'm not just talking to you, Rich, even though you feel like you're being singled out. I'm
Yeah, bro.
speaking to people
Relax, Chris Hardwick.
that need a drink or something every night to relax.
Wine does
And
have a
that
ton of
just-
sugar.
And that just seems to me like, chemical dependency. That's it.
Hey, how do you guys feel about the pinch and roll? Still a fan of that or what? Do you have a new technique? You don't know the fucking pinch and roll? I teach you everything.
Grumpy.
You didn't even know what a grumpy was yesterday.
Is pinch roll a poop move?
It's
You pinch one out and then you roll?
I'm actually doing the pinch and roll right now, which is why I asked.
Oh, the pinch and roll on your balls.
How do you know?
Oh, because I thought you were making like a poop reference.
It's a move I've been doing since I was like a toddler.
I saw that on social media because I think
you've been doing it your whole life.
No. I saw it on social media. It didn't let me finish my sentence, bird brain. I said I was amazed that a lot of women.
Bird brain. He didn't even know what it was.
A lot of women. You found out, like, I guess we never thought of it as dudes, but when you say, oh, I'm going to scratch my nuts, you're not really scratching your nuts.
It's a pinch and roll.
Yeah, it's the pinch and roll. But I think when you tell, like, Jordan or Sarah or Kristen, like, oh, I was sitting around scratching my nuts, they think you're like a fucking ape at the fucking zoo,
Right,
like scratching your fucking ass.
You're pinching and rolling.
No, you're pinching your ball sack and you're rolling the pinch.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you have a new technique.
Oh, the pinch and roll is patented by men forever.
Yeah, it's just you still roll with that, right? Doesn't change.
Does Carrie
throughout time?
Kuhneman know that? Does she know that Pompadour Paul,
No, he's doing the pinch and roll.
when he's sitting at his big time meetings being a big boss man, does she realize that he's sitting in his corner office pinching and rolling his testicles? Not his balls, the ball skin.
Why does Spot feel like? I feel like you don't do the pinch and roll, Spot.
Oh, I do the pinch
You
and
don't
roll all the time.
scratch your balls.
Okay.
Oh, I do the pinch and roll all the time.
All right. Do you do
Yeah.
the brush this way kind of sometimes? Like
No.
the outward like
I'm pinching and rolling right now.
pinch and rolling? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like I constantly.
People
do the
say
pinch
rock and roll.
I do the. You know what I do? I do the pinch and tug.
People say rock and roll is dead. I say, well, the pinch and roll still lives.
Oh yeah, a little pinch and tug is
Pinch
good
and
too. Yeah.
tug. Like I pull the skin, like I'm stretching it out, and then I let it go, and I feel like everything's
Just
all right.
just taking again. I'm interested in people's hobbies and habits. You know, like every day.
No one
pinch and roll?
really.
Pinch and roll. Okay, cool.
All I need to do is, you know what I need to figure out? How to adjust my junk when it's like flat. I don't know why it bothers me so much when it's flat down. It just doesn't feel right to me. And it,
When
like,
your junk
bothers
is
me.
down?
When it's down and it's like kind of tucked. It's like it's pressed against skin. It doesn't feel right when it's down to me. I need to like have it up and over. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I haven't figured out how to do that. Like when it is against too much of the ball skin, it doesn't feel right to me. It's like
I feel like rumple ball skin.
yeah, it doesn't. It feels like someone's scratching their nails across a chalkboard to me.
I feel you. I feel like I have some mind blowing sort of thing for women. What we just described right now. So Carrie, Kim,
Yeah.
Renee. It's called the pinch and roll.
I'm telling
It's
you,
what we do.
I don't know how we walk around with these things.
Yeah. Pinch and roll
Yep.
lives.
What's a weirder thought? A woman trying to imagine what it's like to have something hang between your legs, or a guy picturing like walking around fucking big titties bouncing.
Well, what I was thinking is
Like
is
a
the
woman-
pinch and roll offensive though, because if I did the pinch and roll,
Well, if someone sees you, yes.
yeah,
Like you're
little kids do it all the time.
yeah, but you're a grown man.
No, because when I run, yeah, I feel like I've felt what it's like to be a woman. When I run, my tits bounce, so I know what it's like.
But a girl, I can't imagine having two bams on your chest. Some women they like
Kazooms.
they
So
weigh
that's
them
why
down.
they wear sports bras and I wear sports undies for that reason.
No, the version of
sacks?
sports undies
Rich
is the one
doesn't-
with the
Rich
pouch in
doesn't
it.
need
The
sports undies.
sacks, like sport ones, are the only things I wear now. They're sport undies. They hold my sack in place. I wear them for yoga.
You know, it's not bad as far as undie spot. Speaking of my favorite place that I hate, Costco. Those Puma boxer briefs. If the only problem is that they say Puma all over the waistband, like Puma, but they're actually pretty decent as like your secondary tier undies. Have you tried the Puma boxer
I
briefs?
haven't, no, but I'll make note of it. Balance, guys. Pinch and rolls. And I have another question for you. Again, because I'm interested. What do you guys think? How do you feel about male paternity leave? I know your brother did it, Rich.
I fully support it.
I think guys that hate their job should do it automatically.
I fully support it.
Remember the story I told?
Was there a Yankee that's on paternity leave? Because I
Remember
saw your boy. Wait, let me see if I'm right. Let me see if my memory is good just from reading headlines. Your boy Urshela is back on the team.
Nope.
Wait.
Urshela's on the Twins.
Not Urshela. Wait, hold on. Some guy that Covino would always mention is back on the team now.
Right. You're right about that.
Because someone's on paternity leave.
Yep.
Oh, fuck. Not Aaron Hicks.
My guy
Wait,
who-
Aaron Hicks.
Aaron Hicks is on paternity leave. Aaron Hicks, to give you reference, is also the guy who I said made specific goals this season to go 30-30. 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases. And then we talked about how, hey, maybe we should make our goals more specific so we know what we're aiming for. He hasn't been on a tear, but he hasn't been sucking either. But now he's taken off a few days.
Aaron Hicks.
He's taken off, as of now, 3 games, but it may be more. So right now it's just 3 days, assess. Could be a week or 2. They haven't said yet. In the meantime, they called up, like Rich said, Miguel Andujar.
That's it. I'm like, I know this
Rookie
guy.
of the Year the same year Ohtani won, which was what, 2019, 2018?
So let me ask you this question then.
Miguel Andujar.
On a baseball note, then we'll get back to paternity leave.
They called up 2 guys, Miguel and Duhar.
Yeah, and Duhar.
Yeah, Duhar's the Indian guy.
Oh.
Duhar, do you know?
Miguel Andujar's, his rookie year was phenomenal. But he got hurt and he's never been the same.
I was going to say answer this question because how could a guy be a rookie of the year candidate that I've heard Covino talk about? Like, yo, bro, Andujar. And they're like, he just got called up. He didn't make the extended 28-man roster that baseball started with this year. He couldn't even make the team?
His injury, after his rookie season, he's never been the same. I was pretty fired down that he didn't win Rookie of the Year. Again, that was the year Ohtani won, and Ohtani's super deserving.
Who's pitching today, by the way? Ohtani pitching today.
But I'll give you stats real quick just for fun. In 2018, he had 27 home runs, and he batted .297.
And he's not even on a big league team.
297, 27 home runs. He had 92 RBIs. Rookie. And the dude had, I think he led the league or he was up there in doubles. So talk about rookie stats. He was as solid as they get.
How do you go from that to not even being on the team?
Exactly. Injury. You know, ask guys like.
And I think that's also a circumstance where the Yankees are pretty stacked, where if he played for 10 to 20 different other teams, he'd probably be on the major league roster playing every day.
I mean, injury. I saw a TikTok video the other day. It was like, who comes to mind immediately when you think of injuries sidelining their career? And I remember the kid in the video. I was like, yeah, Derrick Rose is probably one of the best answers, the most obvious.
Yeah, he was an MVP, injured. Every time he comes back, he's solid, but then he gets injured again or he's never the same.
Injury is the answer to a lot of these questions. What happened? Dude, last year, I hate to be a homer, but last year, DJ LeMahieu, he went from being a batting champion to like being a non-factor.
Yep.
Why? Hernia, injury. So, you know, when people aren't giving you that 100, whether it's on the field or at the office, something's not right.
Look at running backs in the NFL.
Could be health, could be mental health.
All it takes is a running back to get a little banged up.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you 2 names, and you're going to say, holy shit, those guys were dominant. And now, where are they? Within the last 5 years, Le'Veon Bell and Todd Gurley
Injury
are 2 guys that were the dominant guys in football. Now it's like, are they even playing? I think they're both out of the league.
Penny Hardaway is a great answer.
Oh,
Shaq went on record saying that when Penny Hardaway came into the league, he was Kobe. It took Kobe a few years to become Kobe.
Yeah.
Penny Hardaway was the guy. Injury sideline him. Anytime you see productivity go down, I said productivity.
You could say product or
because you're
product.
putting a product out there. When you see that go down,
productivity,
something's not right.
Yeah.
So
not wrong.
Miguel Andujar, I mean, he could have been Rookie of the Year. He's back because Hicks is out.
Who fell off? I'm trying to think of other guys that fell off where you're like, what happened to that guy?
Sometimes it's just wear and tear.
Sometimes it's a pitcher that was dominant, and you're like, what happened to him? And again, I'll use a Met example like you use a Yankee one, like a Matt Harvey or certain guys that just injuries and they're just never the same.
Never the same.
Happens in all sports.
Happens in life, man. You know, hey, you know
Never
what
the
happened
same.
to Bob? Bob used to be so productive. Bob was like suffering with mental health problems or something. You know, something's not stirring the way it used to. So, paternity leave. Aaron Hicks, he had this goal in mind.
Brandon Webb, great example, by the way, Chris.
You clearly, we like this question better. Do we like this question better?
Oh, it's a good one.
We could go with it.
No, go. The paternity
Would you say
leave.
LaDainian Tomlinson would be injury or wear and tear?
Old.
Just, yeah, but he didn't play that long.
He played for a couple teams and he had longevity. You know what it was? It was all of a sudden he got old. Like as Emmitt Smith once told us, I'll drop a name. Emmett Smith once told us there's 1 year. I go, how do you know? I said, Emmett, you can promote your foot fungus in a minute. What did he have? Gout. Hold off on the gout a second. Number 22.
Play for Mr. Gray.
Mr. Emmett Smith, I got to ask you, how do you know it's over? And he said, 1 year, Father Time just hit you where you come back to training camp where all of a sudden you can't turn the corner anymore. You can't beat someone up the middle. And he's like, you just lose a little bit of a step. And I think a guy like LaDainian Tomlinson, he went from being the number 1 drafted fantasy football player, scoring 15 to 20 touchdowns a year.
Like he was the guy.
Yeah, to like backup third down back on the Jets.
He was the new LT. He was
what
LT.
happened? David Johnson, Stoney Homie, that's a great example. David Johnson, running back.
Zion is a great answer, Raymond, right now, but he'll be back.
I think Zion's story is not written yet.
He's
but,
also a victim of like gaining 135 pounds. So Andujar, Miguel Andujar, Rich is right. I used to sing this dude's praises all the time.
That's how I
now
knew
he's
him.
coming
I'm
back from the minors. And you're like, well, oh yeah, what happened to that guy?
Andujar, bro.
Andujar was, that dude hit double. He was a doubles machine. So now he's getting a chance again in the big leagues to prove that, I'm still that dude that hit 27 home runs my rookie season.
Yeah.
And he's getting that opportunity because Aaron Hicks is taking paternity leave. We don't have to harp on it. I'm just saying, is there a different vibe about it in sports? I mean, you're still a dad, right? It's still important, but does it still like pinch and roll your nuts a little bit?
Let me see. Hold on.
Because it does for me. I'm like, how long are you going to be out, dude? You got a responsibility to the Yanks right now.
It's a 162 game schedule.
I know. He has a bigger responsibility
now,
to his family. I agree and
if he
understand
was,
all that.
here's my take.
That our whole life.
Because we were wrong our whole lives. Here's my hot take. And by the way, I'm looking at the answers, but for the question that you didn't want to talk
Greg
about.
Oden, yeah.
A great one was Greg Oden, but also,
He had bad
do you remember
knees.
the white running back, Peyton Hillis?
Yeah.
Like a goofy white guy on the Browns?
Yeah.
Grand opening, grand closing.
Save this for Fox Sports Radio on Sunday.
Yeah.
When it comes to injury, who comes to mind immediately when it comes to being affected? Miguel Andujar is a great way to start. And Shaq, again, like I said recently, I think it was recently, talked about Penny Hardaway saying like, he was the dude. So that's another great answer.
I think that if it was the playoffs and he's like, I'm taking a week. I think if it's the playoffs, you take a day, you see your kid be born, you play in the playoffs, and then you're a dad in the offseason. The fact that it's April, Yankees are in first place, and it's 162, as Kay would say, 3.5, 4 hour, what is it?
An unmanageable
3.5, 4 hour game. I think if he's gone a week, it's the equivalent of like a 10-day, like, hey, my ankle's a little sore. I'm going to take a 10-day IL.
But keep this in mind, too. When you set such specific goals for your career, and every year matters when it comes to getting that next contract, and you're like, I'm going 30-30, and I'm on a bit of a streak. I'm playing all right. Now you're going to dip out. You might come back and suck it up. And Miguel Andujar, Wally Pips your ass. Tom Brady's your ass. Later, Drew Bledsoe. You never know. You never know. And by the way, Jason Brown had another great answer. Bo Jackson.
I saw someone say Mike Allstat. Come on. Good one. Kerry Wood had an arm of all arms, and,
he kind of reinvented himself
he did, but
later
still.
on. But, yeah, all right, so it was a two-part doozy. Based on Miguel Andujar coming back,
well,
injuries took him out of the game.
Cove, I'll tell you this.
That's a great thought to shove up your ass for later. And then paternity leave.
The paternity leave, I haven't
what
thought
if you're
on.
in the zone, though, dude? You're giving other people an opportunity.
Yeah.
You got to be confident in what you do. I get it, right? But you're giving another dude an opportunity to take your job.
I look at it this way. For years, we have been conditioned, unlike other countries. Like, keep in mind, there's a few peculiar things about the United States. How we measure things, right, Spot? Is it like everyone else in the world use the metric system?
No, I thought we measured things by how many followers you have on TikTok.
Royale with cheese.
Yeah.
Isn't that how you measure things?
So we measure things differently.
How many likes you got on your last post?
And I think we oddly measure things by Instagram likes. No, we measure things by like hours of work and how much work you put in. Like the United States
I always give my dick size in centimeters, though.
makes it, yeah, it gives you a little more, yeah, sounds better.
That's the tip of the day. Pun intended.
I really genuinely think that we look at things an odd way. Like, if anything we learned over the last couple of years, work doesn't care about you the way you care about work. As the old meme goes, you die, your body it's not even cold yet, and they already got your job posting up on
Boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why I poop on company time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying don't care about work.
Pooping on company time's great.
But keep in perspective.
That's the least grumpy I
Right?
But keep in perspective.
That's a far from a grumpy.
Keep in perspective how much your job truly cares about you versus how much effort you're putting in. Like, my favorite example is when you took your daughter Melody to Billie Eilish.
Yes.
And it was a debate for a minute. You were like, oh, I got to go to ESPN tonight. And I remember you and I chatting. I'm like, bro, I think you should take your daughter to Billie Eilish. 6 months later, with nothing you did wrong, ESPN and powers that be that you didn't even know were like, nope, you're out.
They weren't like, oh, well, I see here on April 25th, he took his daughter to see Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
Get rid of him.
No one cared. Like Spot said before, companies, believe it or not, you think you're doing all these little extras.
I used to spend all these hours in the office, dedicate my time to everything.
The only reason I would never do it is because we're in a performance-based job. If I worked at any company where I wasn't doing a quote show, like if I was a producer or a production guy at SiriusXM or iHeart and Sarah had the baby, I would have been like, how long do I get? Yeah, I'm going to take most of it. I would. The only reason I wouldn't take it now, the only reason my fucking wife had our baby and I was on the air doing play-by-play because I feel a responsibility to our audience. And I know you're saying these guys should have.
By the way, you did not have to do that.
But you're saying
I wouldn't do that.
But you're saying that these guys have a responsibility on that level because they're baseball players, they're athletes.
Yeah, as Andrew Hart backs me up. We had this conversation a million times, but to Covino's point, it's a bit different in sports because you could be quickly replaced. Mm-hmm. That's why I brought up Andrew Hart. Here's a dude who has all the potential in the world. This is his chance back. He gets hot. Guess what? We're in a game of winning. If he gets hot, Hicks comes back and he's like, what's up? Hey, Andrew Hart is on fire. Sorry, man. Now, your contract and your goal of 30-30 is in question because you took too many days off.
He might be thinking,
and you're doing the right thing.
He might be thinking.
I'm not saying he's doing the wrong thing. It's just not something that we grew up thinking was normal.
I think it's a change of ideology where the real answer lies somewhere in between. Like, you shouldn't be the guy that's like, who cares? I'll take a month off. But you shouldn't be the guy that's like,
how long did your brother take off?
Like a months, whatever the like. Let's say,
but again, he doesn't really love
my brother. Hates it. My brother hates his job and doesn't give a fuck. If my brother
is usually 12 weeks.
Yeah, so my brother took whatever it was. Let's say it was 12 weeks. My brother's like, I will take 12 weeks and 1 day. Like because he's like, I don't care at all. Some people don't care at all.
Okay, let me ask you this: what if it was football? Every game counts.
They don't play every day, so if he took a week off, I know it's.
But even if he misses practice throughout that week, like you're missing tape, you're missing a lot. You're preparing for that weekend's game. So because there's 162 games and it doesn't matter,
it's almost like
what if it? There's got to be some sort of again balance here.
All right, let's think about women.
These guys are bringing home, for the most part, we're talking about professional sports athletes here.
Rich, you kind of alluded to it by saying, if you're just a regular dude doing it. I think in the corporate world, the higher the level you are, the less likely you are to take 3 months off. I think so. Do you think? I agree. Do you think Scott Greenstein would take 3 months of family leave?
No, because it shows you're not that important.
Right. So I think, obviously, in a something like sports,
how long did Zito take? Do you know when Mark Zito and his wife had a baby?
I don't think he took that long.
It's like he's a guy that
probably works from home.
He's a guy that makes important moves, but I feel like he was like, yeah, I'm taking some weeks.
I'm not saying you shouldn't.
I don't know.
I'm not saying you shouldn't take any days off. You should especially be there, of course.
Not to mention, these people can afford things to, pick up the slack. Like a lot of times like someone like me, would take family leave in order to either, obviously spend time with your newborn, but to also, pick up the slack and care for a child and not have to worry about getting child care and all this stuff during the day. And you should also stagger it too, I believe.
Yeah. What if you're the quarterback of the team? Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going to miss it. You're the fucking quarterback of the team. You're more important than the guy on special teams. Cares about that guy?
Yeah,
it depends. It's like a sliding scale. It's like
it's interesting because I hate
that's what we're talking about.
I hate when conversations, Covino.
Yeah.
I hate when conversations go the way where the real answer is, well, it depends on the situation, because then you're not really given an answer. Because
that's why I say it's still
such a
itches my balls a little
it's such
bit, because it's something still off about it.
There's
Where
a sliding scale of. All right, I'll give you an example. Let's say it's a woman.
I have to be sexist because the woman's the one having the kid. Okay.
Yeah.
She's a woman. Remember the old school thing where women had babies because they were women?
Yeah.
All right.
Her body is going through more, which means she needs more recovery time.
Right.
Yeah, you need
being
to
a woman,
recover.
right?
You dropped the nut 9 months ago.
The husband comes in here and is like, we had the baby.
It was a pretty epic nut.
It should almost be like the woman now says, okay, now get back to work because you got to worry about providing for this baby.
Yeah, but
Not sit here and fucking hang out with me.
The other answer would be, we had a baby. Help support me through the beginning stage of this kid's life, because you work for a company who
can
allows
easily replace
this. You can't be replaced. It's against the law.
According to
Eventually, dude. I'm like, it's against the law. So is Aaron Boone like, sorry,
No, sports are different.
Sports are different.
If you work for you're not listening.
I understand it's against the law, but it's gonna. You're giving someone else the opportunity to really show their value and their worth.
I have a friend that worked. I have a friend in Texas who had a baby. I have a friend in Texas who had a baby, and she got a job. She got a new job when she was 7 months pregnant because they couldn't prejudice against hiring her.
Of course.
No, but she got the job and was paid for worked like 2 weeks, had a baby, and then was paid for months.
I also love the women that look for new jobs during their maternity leave.
Yeah.
So they're getting paid, doing nothing.
Why not?
And then just come back, leave their jobs, and get a new job.
Spa, on a side note, how do you feel about men that say we're pregnant? We're pregnant.
I mean, semantics. FMLA allows you to take off. The Department of Labor, the U.S. Department of Labor, allows you to take off within 1 year of your child's birth. That's why I'm saying, like, staggering. Like, you could take a couple personal days around the birth of the child. But then if you wanted to take leave, stagger it with your wife or either, your girlfriend, whatever, the person having the child. And then you could kind of spread out child care.
I want to see how Rich felt if it was fucking George Kittle before a big game.
No, let me tell you something. I agree with Kyle, which is rare. He said, stop using sports as an example because
it is the example, Kyle, you numbskull. That's what the story's about. That's what the story's about.
You're using.
You can't tell me to stop. You're
using Aaron Hicks and Andujar as your jump off. But what I'm saying and what Kyle's saying is that sports is in a different category because they are paid.
Don't tell me to stop.
Hold on.
That's where it started.
They are paid a ton of money, and it's a performance-based fans, stadiums. If you're a sales guy for, I don't know, fucking Ford.
But we're seeing this trickle into sports now. That's what makes it interesting.
That's what I'm saying. So your trickle into sports is interesting.
Right.
But the average guy, I think more and more and more people are realizing, fuck it. I work for this company and they don't care about me. But you know what? It's legal that they need to let me take paternity leave. All right, let's say it's a woman. Because you're right. They go through a million times more than a guy when this happens. Baby happens.
Of course.
Now, I know that, let's say Nicole from the Morning Mashup.
Never heard of her.
She's like the main person on that show. But no offense to Ryan or Stanley T, but Nicole's like probably the main person on the Morning Mashup, right? If she has, let's say she had a kid now, she's going to take some time off. But do you think because she's in a performance-based industry, it would be in Nicole's best interest to be like, I'm going to take 6 months off from being the morning girl?
No, because
I
she's
don't, and
important.
she didn't.
But it's all like.
But what I'm saying, I think
it goes
people-
back to what Spot said.
I think it's a
If
self-assessment.
you're doing that, then you're not that important.
I agree. It's a self-assessment, and I think
So then you're self-assessing to the people who pay
Right.
you
So-
that I'm not that important.
I think
Like, you
it's a
really-
generational thing, but Spot, one last point. I think it's a generational thing for sure, right? Because your old school mindset is like, oh, not taking time off. In the new school is like, I'll take every minute. However, I think there is a sliding scale of importance. There has to be, because if you're in a performance-based thing, you're not going to want to be gone for that long. But if you're at a company where you're just another cog, like I work at the Chevy factory,
You'll always be a cog with that mentality. Always.
I know. I'm just it's
And so the back to what Rich said, it's a boring answer. Yeah, you got to be there for your kid. I say you, while you're still the worker in this, you're not having the baby. She had the baby. You get back to work like 3 days as soon as you can.
What
Andrew Hart is so wrong about this. He says it has nothing to do with importance. Hogwash.
I disagree.
If you're an important player or cog in your company, you can't be like, yo,
Your Nicole example
peace
is
out.
good.
Yeah, I thought Nicole was a great example. She could have took more time off, but I think she took a few weeks, like every mom should. But I think at one point after a month, she was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to, how about like compromise? I'll be on the air, but this is before COVID. I remember I think her thing was like, I'll do the show from home, but that was like her compromise. Like, I'm on maternity leave, but I'll do the show from home. I'm not coming in, but I don't want to leave you hanging.
Like Rich, you did a radio show while your child was being born.
Because I feel like we have a responsibility.
Exactly, but I mean,
I would not be Aaron Hicks right now. I'll tell you that.
I wouldn't do what Rich did.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. That was
I
his,
wouldn't by any means.
I think that's his.
I mean, I wouldn't. For me, I don't think I would take.
That's Rich's need for speed.
Like when I had my surgery, I did like what was medically suggested, and took off, and then planned to come back to work. Like I came back mid-December. I could have just said, I'm coming back in the new year after the holidays. But I came back mid-December because I started to feel better, and I was medically cleared, and I went back to work.
I'm glad I was on the air with you guys the day Sarah had Emmy, because now I look
have
at
a
that.
record of it,
I'll forever have audio of the moments my child was born. Like that we broadcasted. It's
But I'm telling you, there's like.
By the way, you know what makes the story more fun?
Up to a certain level, right? Up to a certain level, I'm telling you, it is about importance. I think, if you're a low level, of course, take off because they can't fire you. If you're mid-level, you probably have people that work for you. You can correspond with them, but don't have to be as active, and the work will get done. And if you're high level, you're just too important to disappear. No matter how many people are beneath you, you are running shit.
Yeah, so you're basically your brother, in other words.
I would
he had
argue-
every right to take off, but he advertised to everybody he's not that important.
And I would argue that the people in the upper echelon of the corporate world are equivalent to the everyday people in the sports world. Like if you're a player, you're the upper echelon.
Yeah, it's so funny. Aaron Hicks has provided all these awesome thoughts for the show.
Thanks, Aaron Hicks.
Yeah, because again, he wanted to go 30 for 30, set specific goals. We should also do that.
You ready?
Get this though. He's taking paternity leave, so they call up a former All-Star, a former potential Rookie of the Year. And here's what makes the story fun. So just something to keep an eye on. Aaron Hicks, who's having a decent season so far. You want to check his stats real quick?
Yeah.
He's playing moderately decent. It's still early. He has like 1 home run. But he's swinging a decent bat. He's off. Our lives is trickling into sports as we described. But Miguel,
273.
273,
Not
but yeah.
One
it's
homer.
pretty good for now.
No doubles. No.
Miguel Andujar says, right? And here's the issue, guys. Here's the nugget. Miguel Andujar swears, this is what makes the story fun now. Swears he's going to hit like it's 2018 again if the Yankees ever gave him this chance. And now's his chance.
Oh.
So do you want to take that many days off while this guy's fucking hungry?
It's a risk, Carnal. Life's a risk.
Yo, someone always willing to do that shit. Yo, me personally, I'm like, yeah, Grant Random, keep taking days off on lithium. Because this dude's hungry. I'll take it. I want that. Keep taking off. And every day you take off on lithium on SXM, you're great and all, but every time you take off, I'm going to come on and bring the fucking fire. I'm bringing the heat because I want that. Miguel Andujar wants that. He wants that opportunity. He's getting it because this dude's taking off. How long? We don't know. Does he have the right to take off? Yeah. Should he be there? 100%.
It's federally,
balance.
It's federally mandated
All right. Well, hey,
that he has the right to take.
throwing it out there. Throwing it out there.
Covino's making a great point, Spot. It might be federally mandated or any of the things you're saying, but doesn't mean.
I made a 2-shot.
Trying to find something. I'm being serious. I'm trying to find
women. You could understand, dude. They can't get back right away. The man, you're like, people at the office are looking at their watch.
You even have the right to take off for an adopted child. Serious health condition. I did that. To care for a family member.
Hey, I'm just throwing it out there. It's a story that's kind of fun, even if you don't like sports. It's kind of fun because this dude is like, yo, if I get my chance, it's on. I have another question for you.
Yeah, I'm trying to
these
find
fun
something.
Questions? Sure, find it. I got another question for you. How long
Is my penis in centimeters?
is Spot's penis in centimeters? Give or take a few centimeters. You ever see how women really don't know inches, but men do? If you go like this to a man, men will be like, yeah, 5-6 inches. If you go like this to like a girl, she's like, I don't know, like 9-10.
It's because guys have lied to her.
Yeah.
Works in your favor.
Yeah, because guys, you know what it all comes down to? Because guys have measured their dicks.
Yeah,
that's really
every guy roughly every guy roughly knows what 6 inches
you
looks
have
like.
a reference of inches.
Like you can be measuring, you can be measuring something. Like you could be at Home Depot and you're like, oh yeah, that's a 6-inch panel.
Yeah.
Like
no, it's absolutely
Oh,
true.
this
And
is,
they've
dumb.
done studies on this and they've done videos on it. It's like you ask any girl, like, how long is that? She's like, I don't know, like 30 inches. And guys are like,
yeah, no, guys.
I'm a
like,
solid.
it's like 15 inches.
I'm a solid.
Oh, you know what I
17,
saw?
by the way.
This is a dumb social media thing.
A solid 17.
I feel like maybe you guys are the type of guys that lie about your junk because
I'm at, but with centimeters, by the way. I wouldn't have any clue.
I can't wait to go home and give Kristen the 17
centimeters.
I saw something on social media and I got to be honest, it made me laugh because there are guys that measure from like their butthole. You know what I'm talking about?
Sorry, what? They
All right,
measure.
all right, all right, hold on.
They include the
Hold on.
taint in their measurements.
Spot. No. I'm going to stand up. Give me 1 second. I'm not going to whip out my Johnson. There are guys that will
I need to stand up a little
measure from above their junk, right?
Yeah.
Measure that way.
bit. Uh-huh.
There are some guys that put like the measuring tape or something like under their fucking grundle and measure out that way. And it's giving guys like an extra. I saw this on TikTok and it's like, guys
not
like,
real.
yeah, you measure from like under your balls by your butthole. I'm like, what? Those are the guys that are like, those are the guys that have an average penis that think they have a huge penis.
Wow.
Because they are measuring.
No, you measure from the base.
Spot, you measure from
How low
above,
can
right?
you go?
Spot, you measure from above?
Yeah, and you you push down if you have a little extra.
Yeah, but
You push down real hard.
You have a little fupa. You really like push down. So you
I got
can see-
I got
Covino's-
scars on that area.
Covino has what look.
pushing
Covino has
down
the
some.
equivalent of a what? Covino looks like he has a C-section scar, but it's just a ruler scar
the
from
ruler
trying
mark.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's not even a scar. It's just a permanent indentation.
But do you get what I'm saying? Like some guys will measure from above their Johnson, and that's a measurement. Some guys will start the measuring tape or ruler under their like by their taint, and that is giving idiots an extra inch or so. So those are the guys with an average penis that go around saying, "Yeah, I got like a 7-8 inch
Spot,
dick,"
you're
and it's
saying-
like, no, you don't.
Spot, you're saying your Johnson is 6.693 inches?
It's actually 17.78 centimeters. It's about.
If he's saying,
I got a solid
if he's
7.
saying 17
I rounded down. It's 17.78.
Well, anyway, that's not what I was going to ask you, Spot.
But yes.
I was going to say, how long now is your penis? How long has this been going on?
You do,
How
you know,
long?
by the way, you have like internal penis. That's why when you
Oh, so you measure that too?
when you lose weight,
You're-
that's why you gain penis because there's
Oh.
more penis on the inside.
I didn't know you had an
So-
internal hog.
So you have more penis inside. So you should measure your internal hog.
Gotta be honest, I'm trying to find something, guys.
You have internal hog.
I think I
have
found it.
Eternal hog.
I think I found this girl. It has to do with.
You mean external?
Are,
hog?
are we past the whole
like
paternity?
eternal flames?
Are we past the
Eternal hog.
paternity leave, or are we have we passed that? Are we
We're
on to
fucking
measuring
way past
penises?
it.
Okay.
Yeah, not
All
even.
right.
I said how long. Haven't even gotten to the question yet.
All right.
Another question for you. Rock on, everybody.
That's our transition.
Rock on. You could continue looking for what you're looking for.
All right.
It's all good.
Because I think it makes sense. Oh, here. Spot, you said you love this girl too.
Oh, Sophia Beverly?
You still love her for real?
I just love... She's
Or is it like your joke? I'm being curious. I'm serious. Like
she's perfected the titty bounce,
I'm not into it.
the flop. She knows how to start a walk that'll make those things bounce with a bang energy in hand.
I just sent you an Instagram post, Spot, on our
It was a birthday
CNR text massage. And this is a woman that I think she's great on TikTok and Instagram. You might not think so, but she talks about how
Is it
to
Elise,
navigate the boundaries
Elise Myers?
of work.
Oh, I introduced you to this girl.
You know, but
I
I've
take credit for her.
I find Spot. You take credit for her. If that
I
means
will.
so much to you.
It does.
All right, Spot found her,
Rich had
as
the
well as
nerve
2.3
this
other million
weekend-
people.
Rich had the nerve this weekend to show me as if I didn't send him the clip.
That's where it gets annoying.
You're right, because we haven't ever sent each other the same clips over and over.
Have you heard about this girl?
No,
Like she
but
talks about boundaries and
When someone tells you something, right?
Yeah.
And then you go and tell that person some shit that they told you.
Yeah, but it could
That's
be
frustrating.
it could be a simple
Like,
like
I'm the one that told you
It
that.
could be a simple like, yo, I'm the one that told you, not a fucking like rude like, yo, I discovered it. Like you didn't discover it. You're
Those are
not
two different
Columbus.
things. So I'm saying those are two different things. Spot didn't need credit for that. But when you
Sounds like he wanted credit for it. He could have simply said,
But
yo,
you do what
doofus,
he
I'm the guy that
described
showed
a
you.
lot.
And I would have said, oh yeah, you maybe you were the guy. But I was talking about this woman with my high school friends, and she really is funny on how she describes boundaries at work and how she has a whole series of how to say blank, like, yo, stop giving me more work, asshole. How to say that in a corporate way. And I think she's fantastic, Spot. If you want to play like one or two of her clips, I think she's really good. She has a whole series
so to
of
Spot.
Spot thinks she's fantastic.
play one of her clips as if I haven't seen hundreds of them.
Yeah,
I
Spot.
think she's really good.
Then pick your favorites.
You should check it out. Spot.
No, what Spot is saying is annoying though. To make that point clear, it's not about who discovered her.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
on
know,
Team Spot with that.
clearly
Rich is very infamous for saying things like this. Covino, did you hear Miguel Andujar being called back up? And I'll look at him. I'm like, you mean I'm the one that
Clearly,
told you that?
She doesn't have one follower, and that follower is me.
Yeah, she has
But
millions of followers.
I found her. I've watched her for a long time. I showed her to the both of you based on a conversation we had recently, and then you turned around and said, "Oh, you should check out this girl. She talks about like corporate world stuff." I'm like, oh, really? Her and corporate Natalie are great. I love corporate Natalie. Corporate Natalie mocks people
See
on
this
like Zoom
broad.
calls.
I mean, the second one's pretty good. Coworkers that don't understand boundaries. She ends everything. You might know her. She ends everything with toodaloo.
Oh,
She's
This
fucking
is one
great.
of her. How do you say? She does like a few different types of things.
Yeah.
Professionally say, I told you so, and now this is your problem.
I did previously note that this was a likely outcome. How do you plan to resolve this?
Our deadline is approaching. Hurry up.
As our deadline is quickly approaching, can you provide an update as to where you are in completing this task?
Stop trying to make me do your work.
I'm not able to offer you additional support in completing your workload, as I'm at capacity with my own assigned responsibilities.
I'm mostly done with my meetings for today. What about you?
Say moist.
Damn it.
How do you professionally
So she does all these like how to turn
work on
what
the
you really
Zoom?
want to say into corporate lingo, but she also talks about when coworkers don't understand boundaries, and it just shows like we live now in a world where because you got this bad boy in your hand, your smartphone, people think they could hit you up on a Saturday. People think they could hit you up at 8 o'clock at night. And it's like, nah, I'm like,
there's no more clocking out.
yeah, there's no more clocking out because are you ever really clocked out in the corporate world today?
Yeah, I'm on vacation right now. Oh yeah, but
I know there's a guy we work with at SXM, and I got to be honest, I'll give him a pat on the back for this. I don't want to call him out, but from what I understand, he was on vacation for a week, and throughout that week, he got bothered so many times that he went to HR and he's like, I'm going to reimburse another week of vacation because if I'm on vacation and I had to handle 3 troubleshooting things, you owe me another week's vacation. And they're like, okay.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Because if you're on vacation with your wife or something or your girlfriend and you're getting calls like, yeah, we're on the, we need to solve this thing with the LL Cool J channel. It's like, well, yeah, I'm on the beach.
Well, my daughter bothered me while I was on vacation because she was with her mom. Can I cash in another
You can
vacation?
cash in on that, yes.
Like, wait a second. You guys,
You should demand money back.
Yeah, you got a little back of your child support this month.
you were
child
supposed to be
support.
responsible for her that week. You ruined my vacation. I get another one.
We work on this through the week.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, see,
idea.
just play one of them. This girl that Spots discovered is fantastic.
Her name's Lo.
What's her name?
Lo Whaley. I don't know. I don't even know. I can't tell.
We work on this through the weekend. You should be able to get it done by Monday. While I'm unable to work this weekend, I will ensure this gets prioritized during my working hours. Why can't you work this weekend? I work through the weekends all the time. I was unaware that overtime was available this weekend, but for future reference, where should I bill those hours? When you joined this team, I thought you said you worked hard. Yes, I said I was a hard worker. Not that I would sacrifice my personal time for this job. Toodaloo. We work on this.
Yeah, I think she's fantastic.
I don't think we should condone Spot watching these videos. Because when we want a video done on Friday, like he's going to hit us back with one of these fucking doozies.
Oh, if he hit you with a toodaloo.
Well, I mean,
If we have a different.
I said I work hard, not on my
but we have a different type of job. We're never off the clock because we don't have conventional hours.
oh, really?
You think you're off the clock?
I mean, maybe you should set a little personal. You guys are off the clock constantly. Maybe you should set some personal boundaries.
Rich is off the clock.
Maybe you should-
Rich fucking doesn't hit you back if he doesn't want to.
I hit you up about a clip. I don't hear a peep for 24 hours. I don't hear a peep until the next day.
I clock out. I have my little outside the studio. I have a little.
It sounds like that. At least Covino's like fucking on my case constantly.
You need two people on your case constantly.
I'm just saying, like, you know, if
Well,
you
Spot
want
asks
to
for,
take
like,
your personal time, why can't I have time
the
off?
The way it works behind the velvet rope, Spot will create a clip like he did yesterday. He created a great clip of the rock horns photos and that whole conversation we
and
had.
I like to run it by because sometimes you'll catch something that I don't catch. You'll
Hey,
catch something
just for
that I don't
second
catch.
approval,
You'll hear like, oh, maybe we shouldn't post that because of this.
And I'll try to get back to Spot as soon as I can. I'll watch it. Like, oh yeah, maybe we should take that out. Or yeah, it's great. Post.
Nothing.
Sometimes Rich is on that do not disturb time.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
which is understandable.
But at the same time, I don't want to be on the clock 24/7. I need boundaries in my life. You can't like be hitting me up at 11 o'clock at night when I'm about to go to sleep saying, Spot, we need a clip.
Grumpy.
So there's our boundaries.
I'll give you one. Like he sent us a clip last
When
night.
Spot hits us with a toodaloo, we know where it came from.
I'm going to totally start dropping that.
Yeah. You know what it was? You hit me while I was playing softball and then bedtime for the kids. So I was like, you know,
I mean, you should be on 24/7. You can't be playing softball.
no time off.
Job's different.
Our job's different now.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You can't play softball? That sounds like you're off having fun. That's not work.
Boundaries.
Exactly.
Boundaries. Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.
He was on bat-ternity leave. Get it? Bat-ternity leave.
Yeah.
Bat-ternity
yeah.
leave.
Yeah. Toodaloo.
Rich is always playing softball.
Toodaloo.
That was weak. You going to let that fly?
You think your dick jokes are great, but paternity leave?
I think paternity leave
was
was
not
fantastic.
better.
That might have been his best joke of the year.
So I was about to ask a question. Not how long is Spot's dick in centimeters.
That was a great one.
Not how long has this been going on.
That was great.
Not how long. Anything? How long? Anything? Anymore? How long do you wait until you cash in on the favor?
Good question.
Sliding scale of rules. You know, hey, I just met a girl. How long do I wait? You know, back in the 90s, it was 3 days. Nowadays,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know, that night. Right?
5 minutes later.
5 minutes later, because there's vultures in her DMs like every day. So
Yo,
the rules
mom.
change. This is different. I'll give you the example. This past week before I went to Mexico, I hung out with brother Jose. I told you, right? Brother, my birthday, bro. So good to see you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I met some dude, and he was like, Covino? I was like, yeah, it's a good feeling. Bro, you're the funniest motherfucker on Turbo. I was like, see that, Jose? See that, bro?
See.
Like, whatever, bro. He's like, yo, dude, I listen to you all the time, man. I'm a big fan. He's like, he goes, yo, pleasure to meet you. Bring it in. So I don't really know that many people here. So I'm like, oh, it's my chance to bond with the guy. Cool. Seems cool guy. He likes me. You like me? I love you right back. That's how it works for me. This dude, as it turns out, runs LA Live. Runs it.
Oh, damn, that's good.
So that conversation turned into, dude, I worked at ESPN. I used to be there all the time.
LA Live, bro.
I'm
right
like, wait.
there.
Good
So I had to
good
investigate
person to be
even
friends
more.
with.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, what do you mean you run LA Live?
Runs it.
And he's like, yeah, I run LA Live.
Impressive.
And then, want to know even more impressive? Dude just does one of these.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Dude does one of these.
He gave you a fanny pack?
He has a fanny pack and he opened it up in front of you?
Nah, he's like, give me your phone. Give me your phone.
Oh, yes, the little tap card.
Boop.
Yeah.
All his information.
Whoa.
On a digital.
Yeah,
How do you do?
I've seen those on Instagram. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, but his look dope.
Yeah.
His look dope.
Oh.
All his information. He tapped, if you're not watching, he tapped his digital business card onto my phone. Just tapped it. All his information was right there.
But did he pull it out of his fanny pack?
No, I just did mine for a fact.
Oh, okay.
That's where I keep my wallet.
I think you should carry a fanny pack and pull your card out of a fanny pack. It's effective. But now you got this guy's info. What did he?
So this guy goes.
What did he say to you?
After bullshitting even more, it dawned on me again. I'm like, this dude runs LA Live. What does that mean? Like, what do you mean? He's like, it means what it means. I run LA Live. I'm like, wow, okay. That's where the Staples Center is. That's where we did ESPN. It's a whole complex in Los Angeles.
I've briskly walked around LA Live.
Right.
I've never run it, though.
I was like, I still got my parking pass. And then he goes, I'm not even joking. He goes, how do you like Cirque du Soleil? I was like, dude, I love Cirque du Soleil.
God, does he know you're Cirque
I
boy?
was like, I'm going to Mexico next week. I'm seeing, is it Hoya? I'm seeing Hoya in Mexico next week.
In fact, a month ago, you were in Vegas and you saw
Ka. I said, you're talking to the guy who's all about it right now. Do I like Cirque du Soleil?
Too high.
He's like, hey, listen, man, hit me up anytime. I'll get your girlfriend, bring your daughter. You want to go, bring some friends. Anytime you need anything, man, hit me up. Dude, I love you. I'm a big fan. You're friends with Jose. It's a pleasure to meet you. Yo, hit me.
I'm one of your friends.
So, again, that was what, like last week?
Yeah.
Then I went to Mexico. It's one of those, like, how fast do you strike while the iron's hot sort of thing just to keep that guy, just to keep that favor going or keep that relationship alive. It's not even about, well, let me cash in. It could be, hey, I want to continue that friendship. Which, by the way, dude, this is a whole other side subject. When Jordan sees people that intrigue her, she thinks, I'd love to be friends with that person. I never think that way. I really don't.
Clearly.
Is that a guy thing or
No,
woman thing?
it's clear you just don't like friends.
It's bad for your...
You think that way?
Yeah.
You see people like... I see people like...
I met a guy
cool.
last night at my softball game.
And you're like, I want to be
And
friends with him?
I was like, next time I have a barbecue, I may invite him over because I think I would want to be friends with
I am
him.
constantly on the hunt for new friends.
Okay, see, that's a whole different
I'm
conversation.
looking to replace all
not-
the friends.
I'm not saying I don't acknowledge cool people.
No, not that-
I don't look at them and think that's a person I want to be friends with. Jordan often
Well,
does.
no. I don't look at him in a sense of like I'm seeking out new friends, but a great example would be I started playing ball with a handful of new guys.
Yeah.
And let's say there's one guy on the team that I could tell has my sense of humor and we're goofing around, laughing. Like in my mind, I know like, next time I have like a fight night or people over to watch a game or a barbecue or a pool party this summer, I'm like, maybe I'll be like, hey man, if you want to come by, I don't know if you're single, bring your girl, whatever. Like I might,
For me,
I think that way.
Such a more organic thing. Like it happens as in time and develops and things like that.
And I want to be friends with people that I want to be friends with, not because of what they do. Like I wouldn't say, oh, this guy runs LA Live, I want to be friends with him.
Yeah.
I'll maintain a relationship with him, but I'm not going to be. I'm just because he does something.
Okay.
Doesn't mean we'll be friends.
Well, let's get back to the question.
We'll be
this
friendly.
guy offered me something, right?
Yeah.
Now,
I have your answer.
a week and a
I
half
have your
or so
answer.
has gone by.
based on previous experience.
What's the
I have
etiquette?
it.
What's the protocol to like? Hey, I just throwing it out there.
Too
like,
late already.
yo.
I
I was away, so
Can I answer first, and then Rich, you can give
Yeah,
an answer? Because
yeah.
I want to say fuck you to both of you.
okay.
Many years ago, we had a man on our show by the name of what was his name?
Rayo.
Thank you, Frank Rayo Jr. I don't know what his name was. It's not Rayo, but
Yeah.
let's call him Frank
My
Rayo.
example I thought of you.
Yeah, Frank Rayo Jr. He was the son of the guy that he was a chef and the son of the guy that ran Rayo's.
And they wrote
he
the book.
said to you, "Hey, got to have you guys up to the restaurant. Come on, let me know anytime.
But you
Reach
gotta
out,
explain.
come up."
It's an invite only.
It's an
restaurant.
invite. It's a restaurant where they do one seating a night.
Right.
Every table is owned almost like a timeshare.
Yeah.
Like so, unless you own a table or know someone that owns a table, or show up and wait hoping that someone doesn't show up for their dinner reservation, which probably rarely happens.
You can have a bunch of sassy friends in New York City, and none of them have ever been to Rayo's because it is not easy to get to. We were invited. We waited too long to the point where
the owner's son.
And then it got to the point where months had passed, and we're like, I think we can no longer reach out.
And I blame
me.
You actually, I do blame you because we were waiting for you to show up, be in town. We were waiting for. We wanted to do the whole group to do it, and it just never panned out. And time went on,
and it happens.
My wife to this day hates that we never went because we had been wanting to go, and then when we had the guy on the show and had the opportunity, she's like, "We have to go now."
I think there's you know what, to answer, if you want the real answer to your question, I think you don't need to cash in that favor right away.
What was his final answer, though? He gave an example. What was the answer? Like right away?
I would say within, strike while the iron's, do it as soon as possible.
Oh, yeah,
While it's still fresh in his mind.
I don't think strike on the favor. And again, this is not about using people, but if they offer up, a gesture like, "Hey, I'll give you one." If someone goes, "Hey,
you need to properly take advantage of it.
I have, I don't know. I have a summer rental place in Long Beach, California. Covino, you and Jordan should come by." You can't hit that person up 3 months later and be like, "Hey, didn't you mention something about a cool rental property by the beach?" Now, I think if a couple days later, you're like, "Hey man, really good meeting you. Let's stay in touch. Maybe this summer we'll hang." You got to do the follow-up.
Yeah, I think you need to do a follow-up. So.
Like Stone Cold Steve Austin, to name drop. He said, "Yo, no bullshit, guys, for real. If you're ever down in Texas, I want to take you guys hunting." And we never did it because we're losers.
But
you know what? If a week
constantly doing this, people are constantly saying to the two of you, "Let's do something together," and you take it as courtesy and not on merit. And if you took them up on it, I guarantee you they'd be all about it.
So we're failing at the follow-up, if anything.
I would say, here's what I would suggest to you specifically in this situation, Steve.
It's called OVO, the LA show.
I would say
OVO Cirque du Soleil.
Hey, back from Mexico, saw the Cirque show in Mexico. It was fantastic. Great meeting you. Thought of you. Great meeting you at Jose's party. Looking forward to maybe linking up again and going to see the show.
Better. Hey man, great meeting you. Hey man, great meeting you at Jose's party.
And it was. Yeah, he was the guy I talked to most.
Hey bro, great meeting you at Jose's party. Actually saw a Cirque show when I was in Vegas with my girl. Made me think of you. Let's catch up soon for a drink. What you're doing by saying that is you're keeping the relationship going, and you would not be opposed to having a drink with this guy. He said he was a cool guy.
Yeah, but now I'm forcing a friendship just for tickets. I don't like that.
I don't. But you said it wasn't about. You said it wasn't about using him. You said you actually enjoyed his company.
I did, but I'm not. I don't know if I want to.
No, I would take that out of it, and then when he does do you a favor, because I guarantee you're going to take him up on it. You're going to go see Cirque. You love Cirque, even Jordan or Cirque heads, Cirque boy,
Cirque heads.
Then afterwards, you say, "Hey, thanks again for hooking me up. Would love to take you out for a drink to return the favor," and then you build them the relationship.
There it is. Hey, it just dawned on me that I have to probably hit this guy up if I'm going to ask him for tickets eventually.
But you don't want to do it. You don't want to let a year go by. I would say 3 months minimum.
Nah, people forget the encounter. That's in today's world, especially.
But if you said, "Hey, it's Covino, met you at Jose's party. Would love to come check out the Cirque show." I'm sure he'd be like, "Oh yeah, great. Let me hook you up."
I would say you got to do it within that week.
It wasn't like you met him at some random thing.
I mean, I'm kind of hard to forget, so this is an exception.
I mean, look at that face.
I'm saying in a regular scenario. No, he already was aware of what I did, and I was friends with Jose and all that stuff. So it's not like he's gonna be like, "Who?" In a regular scenario, I think you gotta hit up that person within the next few days, within that week. Because again, you don't want to seem like super desperate guy either, but within that week, to refresh their memory of like, "Yeah, remember what we talked about, that meeting, and oh, you were gonna set this up, and yeah, whatever the promise was." So just something to think about. And I'll be going to OVO sometime soon, I guess, based on this story.
Can we go? I'd love to go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he's really offering.
I mean,
but
tell him a group. Tell him your group wants to go.
They host concerts. They host everything. So do it now, Alex Berman.
About, like,
Now.
Lakers games. Can we go to Lakers games?
I mean, the guy runs LA Live.
Let's go see the
He had
Lakers.
digital business cards.
Let's go see the Lakers.
And I have to say, on
And
a
they're
total
back,
side note,
and they're
I
playing
was-
again.
I was so impressed by that. I'm that type of guy that's easily impressed by some shit like that. I didn't even know it existed. That little Taparoo. I didn't know Taparoos worked on your phone.
Have you never seen the ads on
No.
the gram?
Lisa, this is how Cove is programmed. What does that mean? What is she saying about me? How am I programmed? Just curious.
I have no idea what that means.
No. Anyway, I'm reading feedback. Thanks for all the feedback, guys. Thank you, I'm Key. Thank you, Casey, Alex, Kyle, Lisa.
Definitely deuced.
So I was grumpy.
You
Took a grumpy?
in the middle of the show.
No, I was outside helping my mom with it.
Oh.
That's a lie.
My mom didn't know how to turn on the TV.
All right. So anyway.
You were in the bathroom the whole time. If it was the TV, you would have come through the other door.
You just took a shit?
I just came through that door.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Which door did he come through? You were there. I didn't
He
see.
went into the bathroom, but came
Yeah, I
through
went to the
main
bathroom
one.
and then I went there.
He took a grumpy. He took a grumpy.
Took a grumpy on your head.
All right. Well, just
Grumpy.
throwing that question out there.
Grumpy.
I think you have to act fast.
Grumpy.
Because you do meet people. I say, hey, you know what? I could connect you with so and so. Hey, you know what? Here's my information. And then you let that shit sit. You got to jump on it
You let that grumpy sit.
like a hot chick.
Yeah. I took a bash.
Grumpy.
Well, anyway, how long do you wait before you hit up for the actual favor that was given?
I think you got to strike hard, strike fast.
Strike first, strike hard, no mercy, sir.
Yeah, I think you got to at least make the contact. You don't ask for the favor because then you seem like a user. And if you really do want to create some type of professional or personal relationship, the more time that passes, Covino's right, the more time you have to forget the interaction you had with that person. If you're coming off a fresh, exciting interaction, then
Yeah.
Why not,
I have to do that follow up, I'd say, right about today.
Oh, can he hook you up with a tossed salad from Yard House? That's in LA Live.
that's at LA Live. Seed salad.
The seed salad.
seed.
Name one after me.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Um,
Lisa says, act on any favors people want to give you.
Yeah, because you know why? It's nothing for. It means nothing for him. Like,
Yeah,
it's-
sometimes
to
I realize,
you, it's
like-
a big deal. To him, it's
Yeah,
a
but
matter
sometimes
of.
people just throw bullshit out there too.
To him, it's a matter of sending an email. To you, it seems like a big deal.
Like, in reality, you think Stone Cold wanted to go hunting with me? No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
He was just throwing bullshit out there.
No.
Yes.
No.
you know what? People that take people up on things are the ones that end up doing things.
Yes.
Hey.
These, you know what? There are people that have no shame and will do these things, and these are the people that go far because they're doing cool, having cool experiences, and they don't care.
Think of how many times we've been invited to things and we don't go. Let's say we had a guest on our show in New York.
Right.
I'm just bringing it back to the
Well,
New York
we
days.
didn't do the follow up. That's
No.
Right.
No,
We
but I'm
didn't-
saying
we waited too long.
No. I'm not talking about Rayos. I'm just saying in general. Let's say we were. I'm only talking about New York days because New York was a pretty confined area to do things. Like we'd have a guest on and like, oh yeah, tonight we got a show at Madison Square Garden, or oh we're doing a show here, or there's an after party here. You should come. How many times did we say, oh yeah, cool, we'll let you know, and we never went? Imagine if you took everyone up on every offer. You might be party boy Chris Pontius. You might have been. Think of all the. Anytime we
you're
had
also the weirdo who fucking bought into the. You remember the guy from Barstool who said like you're almost rude for. I did that to be polite, and now
You're almost
cashing
rude
in.
to cash in. Yeah.
Yeah, like you're like a dork. Like Alex Berman's like, have confidence, Covino. I have almost a little too much confidence sometimes. I could tell you, Stone Cold Steve Austin was just being polite. He didn't want to fucking teach me how to hunt. He was being polite. So now I'm an idiot because I took him on his politeness.
Yep.
That's almost as rude.
No.
Yes.
I think because
it goes back to that nerd from
The
Barstool.
Barstool nerd that's like, don't take people up on their fake offers. Like,
Yeah, if you take like he was polite enough to throw out a fake offer because he was being polite, and now I'm the fucking anxious dweebus who's like, oh, I'm here to.
all right, Mark Paul Gosselaar.
you are a bit of an anxious dude.
Mark Paul Gosselaar said, Rich,
No, you're
come
anxious.
to my boxing gym, and if you want to come to my boxing gym and work out.
You didn't email him a week
I didn't hit him
in
up.
time. That's
But
the reminder.
But was that a real offer?
Yes. He likes
That
you.
seemed to be more of a real offer.
He likes you.
That seems
Just
to
like
be.
Jerry O'Connell wanted to hang with you, Steve. You know why? Because he likes you.
Seems to be.
Do you think people like this are just throwing it out to anyone? They're throwing their cocks around because they want to
Yes,
feel
because
important.
people do things and say things to be polite.
Much like
Can I back you up on something?
So the
Much
answer
like
is-
you, hold on. Much like you want friends and you want to build relationships, they want the same thing because you know why?
But sometimes
they're
people are just being polite,
constantly
Scott.
meeting
Yo,
people.
bro.
Especially celebrities.
have.
Celebrities are constantly meeting people, and it's very rare that they probably connect with someone.
Yeah.
They're dealing with a lot of goobs.
Like when I said to Alex Berman, dude, hit me up. We'll go to a car show. I was just being polite.
I mean,
I'm joking.
You know,
That's a joke.
I will say,
is he going to do like parkour for you?
I will say, to back up Spot to end this conversation, there's been one time where I really did a strong follow-up on a friendship like that. And I remain friends with that person to this day, and it's
Okay,
Guy
see,
Fieri.
That's the reminder.
Like Guy Fieri.
I should be friends with Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri,
I love cooking.
Guy Fieri and I bonded for some reason. Like we
Fuck
just sort
off.
of clicked. So Guy
No one wants to be friends with me.
Fieri was like, yo, let's hang, Rich. And I followed him up. I go, you know what? When I go to a 49ers game in San Francisco, I'll drive up to Santa Rosa and we'll hang. He set me up at his restaurant, came by, him and I hung out. He invited me to his house. We watched a fight at his house. Next time I was in that area, he's like, come on back. We went to we were at the Super Bowl together. Like, I think a lot of times we just don't do the follow-up. The one time I did, it seemed like it worked out.
Yeah, it's about that follow-up. That's
Right.
the point of this conversation.
I want to be friends with
And how long do you wait?
Who can I be friends with? No one.
Sonny Anderson.
I am friends with Sonny Anderson, but we don't like hanging out.
I bet you would, though.
She probably would. Very sweet.
I want to be
right.
friends with Mike Wolf from American Pickers. But he never threw an invite out there. I never met him.
Well,
Seems like a passionate guy.
I'm friends with Maria Menounos. That's true. She is my friend.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
we're like cupcake friends, though. I don't think we're like. I know we are friends.
You're like, I want to cup those cake friends.
I do want to cup those cake friends. No, we're friends. She's
All right,
very
so
sweet.
anyway, the reminder, guys, here, the moral of the story is this. You meet somebody, they throw out hey, you know what? We should grab a drink and discuss this. Hey, you know what? I know someone I could connect you with. Hit them up within the week because they're going to forget that shit.
Do we have any friends that got Dodgers hookups?
Stony homie.
Because I want to go to the Dodgers Mets this summer with Spot's wife.
I
Yeah, but I don't want it to be about using people either.
I don't know. I know. I'm saying like I just want to go. So
try.
Well, that's the update there.
you guys are cupcake friends, you and Maria Spot. All right. What's next? I see you got some
Cupcake lovers.
good notes. Then I got a couple things, but what you got?
Good.
You good?
Yeah. I wanted to talk a little more about Elon Musk and your thoughts on that because we sort of brushed past it because you were on the clock yesterday.
You know,
But Elon Musk, it's so funny because now the story is people are like, free speech, yeah. And then other people are like, what about all the misinformation? Wah.
what about free speech? Wah.
And that becomes
What
the
about
story.
the misinformation? Wah.
And it's funny
Free
because
speech, misinformation.
people
Free
who are worried
speech,
about misinformation, all of a sudden they don't care about free speech if it opposes their opinions. Like that's so
but also
odd to me.
people that care about free speech don't seem to care that misinformation will be posed as real information. So it's a catch-22. I'm all about free speech, but there has to be some parameters in place so that you can't just pose fake information as real information because there's too many dummies out there.
But
The problem
anybody
is
can
there's
do
too many
that.
dummies out there.
But anybody could do that.
All right.
And who's to say whose opinion is valid and whose opinion isn't? What's factual and what's not?
Agreed.
You got Twitter police that they know everything. There's stat checkers. You got stat boys really fucking looking into this, or people with agendas in mind. You know, so that becomes a really weird story. And what's more important? I think free speech is more important than misinformation. Like, use your fucking brain and figure it out and do your research if you're unsure about it.
That's true. I just it doesn't, you know, I guess it doesn't apply to you because you're not a dummy. You're a dummy in a funny way. You're not a dummy in a like real dumb way. Like there are people that
Yeah, but you
are
can't
like,
censor
wait a minute.
people's opinions and what people are saying.
Grumpy.
that's so un-American. So, and then the problem and the real issue is how people want only their side of the story to be allowed. Like, what the fuck is that about? You want no opposition? That makes zero sense. And if it does to you, I'd love to hear why. It makes zero sense. No one's saying we want misinformation, but to not want an opposing view because you think yours is right.
Stu brings up a good point. People are all about free speech, but what if all of a sudden there was a viral meme of you and you're a politician or a celebrity or someone? It's like there's all these things going around that you're a pedophile and you're not. Free speech should allow the world to just start continuously posting like these terrible things about you.
No, I don't think so.
So that's free.
But it was beyond that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
it was past that. It's like, oh, that was.
But then,
for example, they took down. This is not a Twitter example, but when they took down Donald Trump's interview on YouTube, what was that about?
No, I get that. That's not this though. That's not what we're talking.
But that's the kind of shit they were doing on Twitter.
Twitter wasn't pulling opposing
that's
views.
Slandering.
Were they?
Like if there's no validity to that whatsoever. Yes, they're taking down people's opposing views.
But all right, for instance, a lot of the things they pull down are not opposing views. It's hate speech. So you got to be okay with hate speech and say
if it's 100% fake. And I like what Elon Musk said. Elon Musk said,
then who's the decider of this? You?
I mean,
Steve Covino? You want to be the commissioner?
No,
of free speech.
But you're going to tell me that someone else, they know all the facts? Who are these people? You're going to tell me that there's a Twitter police that they know all these things, so they're on the case? Then they should be running the country.
Free speech doesn't allow slander and.
Well, that's what I said. The slander.
All right, so who's going to set the parameters of what is slander and fake dangerous information?
Elon Musk said something along the lines of, it's about free speech, and I welcome all my biggest haters to stay on.
No, it's not about. It's not about. I hate you, Elon Musk. You're a piece of shit. It's not deleting that. If some Nazi group is posting shit, does free speech allow them? Would you be like, sure, Nazi, have a Nazi Twitter group? No,
but was it about Nazi Twitter group or was it about like right and left?
I think you're forgetting a lot of this has to do with hate speech.
Or did it also have to do with people with opposing political views that had nothing to do with Nazis?
You have your thoughts on it.
You're going to tell me this was all about Nazis and slandering about pedophiles?
But I don't think it was about Republicans, Democrats. I think a lot of it had to do with...
It was very much about that. It was just as much about that than it was about pedophilia and Nazis. It was more about what I'm talking about than what you're talking about.
When Donald Trump is...
What you're posing is a great question.
When Donald Trump...
Yes, that should be policed. That should be handled.
When Donald Trump was saying that the election was rigged and was people getting all riled up.
Rigged.
Okay. You think that should be allowed?
There's a guy on Twitter that knows that he's wrong.
There was an investigation in the Supreme Court that proved that the election was not rigged.
Okay, so you're gonna now police the president if that's what he really thinks.
Rigged.
But the guy on Twitter should have more power than the leader of the free world.
I don't even want to talk about it. He wasn't the leader of the free world anymore. He lost an election.
But that's why he lost. So they're going to say, shut up because we don't like your narrative.
But the court and everyone, Republican and Democrat,
he should have the right to fucking say that on Twitter?
To say that the country is rigged and it was a rigged election?
Is that slandering?
Berta Riggs.
So, listen, I really don't care enough to argue about this with you, to be honest.
Okay, but that's the narrative.
The election was rigged
on social media. I mean, it's again there's people that want free speech,
like Saber
right?
Saber
and
Music.
Then there's people again. I'm just making it very clear that are like, well, misinformation's worse than free speech.
Saber Music Enterprises. So that's what's our boy? That's
Baseline Trace.
Baseline Trace said, "Hell yes, Covino, you can police the president. What the fuck?"
I mean, he thought that there was. Are you 100% certain that there wasn't an issue? We had fucking multiple ballots.
But I'm just saying, I really don't care enough. So I'm just arguing to give me the flip side. I don't care enough.
It's a big story.
But when Twitter says free speech, are we saying
bring me back
free speech for everything? Misinformation, like Stu said, misinformation probably killed a lot of people last year.
I agree with Stu as far as like, yeah, if you're talking about some politician, you're like, he's a fucking kid toucher and that never happened. Yeah, like, but someone should be able to fucking take that down and figure it out.
Isn't it on the consumer of tweets and knowledge to do their due diligence to fact check?
But if it's someone's sort of opinion, like all right, ready? If I was up there, I'm like, I think the election was rigged. I can't have my opinion.
Like, we should all like.
I think the election was rigged. When the election was rigged. This is bullshit. I can't say that because you don't like my thought. I mean, you're not
that, but that's what
you're
this
not
is
someone
about.
of power. I don't know. Listen again. I'm just giving you the flip side. I don't know.
I'm not expecting you to have the answer. I'm telling you what the narrative is on social media. This country was founded on free speech.
You know what I post on social media? Pictures of you on a fucking boat and pictures of my kids going to school and pictures of like stupid memes I see. I don't post my.
There's always misinformation.
I don't post my.
Do you want to cancel SNL? Do you want to cancel Saturday Night Live? Who made this whole narrative that Joe Biden was shaking hands with invisible people? Should we fucking say, what the fuck is ridiculous? They're slandering the guy. Cancel SNL. You can't do that. That's misinformation.
Just like,
or do you just fucking say, wait a second, well, is he really shaking hands with an invisible guy? Or was he acknowledging people behind him?
Just like HBO has fired back at Jerry West.
Yeah.
No.
He's saying
we need to cancel SNL.
They said it's not a documentary. So, like, what are you freaking out about?
Yeah, like misinformation.
It's not a documentary.
Use your fucking brains.
But it's sort of slanderous.
It's not a documentary.
But I
give you a good and current example. Joe Biden got a lot of fucking shit because people are quick to jump on his mumbling mannerisms. Right? He was like, "Hey, and good evening, and God bless America." No one was there.
Yeah. He embarrassingly was
look
like,
at this old fucking senile asshole shaking hands with nobody. What happened? Did he have a stroke? What's going on with this guy? Forget where he was? That was the story. Everybody joked about it. SNL joked about it. Should we say SNL spreading misinformation? We gotta cancel. Someone needs to police
where's
this.
the misinformation?
That's not what happened.
Satire.
It's satire though. It's a comedy.
But that's not what happened. So that's misinformation. People believe that. That's their choice to be idiots. What happened was he was acknowledging the people to the left and behind him. So if people want to believe information, that's on their stupidity. You can't stop people from fucking talking about what they want to talk about.
I really don't care, to be honest. So I mean,
it's a lazy response. But
I know,
whatever.
but I'm saying I don't because I think there should be free speech. It's important, but I also
you
think
could say it's called a spoof. It's also opinion. So many people believe that's what happened.
Not an opinion
bozo.
piece, though.
So many people believed and slandered our president for being senile in that moment and unaware of his surroundings and shaking hands with an invisible man. That's not just satire. People believed that. That's misinformation. So do we police everything? Or do we allow people to use their fucking brains to find out the truth?
I don't know.
There's always going to be idiots. There's always going to be people who are spreading rumors and saying things that are untrue. It happens at the fucking barbershop. I hear people talking shit that's not true.
Well,
am I supposed to be like, hey, you're spreading misinformation?
I mean, based on Trey brings up a good point. So many of the things that are in our Constitution, things that have been amended, things that haven't, we're basing things on. No, we're basing things on 1776. So it's hard to say what free speech was when there were no radios, TVs, anything, and it's just some dude standing on a fucking milk crate being like, "Hear he, hear he." Like free speech. People used to talk about
hear ye.
What did he say?
He said hear he, hear he.
No, I say that same like you say. Hear he. The same way you say 90 poof poof. I say hear he, hear he.
I say 90 poof poof because all the Portuguese kids said that.
But a guy standing on a milk crate in 1770 something is different than the internet, television, your phone, radio, broadcasting, podcasting. The world's different now. I'm not saying free
not
speech.
that different. Political campaigns have been slandering each other for fucking years.
No, but to say that, like guns, right? When every time people talk about guns, guns are different now than they were 250 years ago. Not that I'm having any hot stance on guns. I'm just saying, like, the world has changed.
Jeff is really fixated on SNL. It wasn't just SNL that mocked Joe Biden's Invisible Man thing. Everybody did. But that's not what happened. There's going to be misinformation. There's always going to be an opposing view. I'm glad Elon Musk bought Twitter. Let people say whatever the fuck they want. Use your brain. That's it. I wonder, again, like we said yesterday, so it's a wave effect. How many billionaires?
It's me, Donald. I'm back. I'm back here.
Well, Joe Rogan, the update is...
I'm ready to come back on Twitter, but I'll only come back if I can say what I want. Anything I say, it's free speech. Doesn't matter who I am, even though I'm the president. I should still be president. Sleepy Joe should be gone. Bring me back.
Listen, you know me.
So only people with... Let's say, all right, for this, only people on the left side of views are allowed to say what they want to say.
Forgot about the boat.
And vice versa. That doesn't seem very fair, does it? Doesn't seem very American, does it? You think everything that people are saying on the left is true? No. Just like people that say things on the right aren't always true. You're foolish to think that everything on the left is accurate and right. No, it just goes with the popular narrative. You think that everything that's being said on the left side of things is factual and actual and always true in correct information? Always? Always. You're fooling yourself.
I don't know if anyone's saying that. I think free speech is a tricky thing when the world has changed a lot. That's all. When the world has changed a lot in the last 300
I'm curious to see how Elon Musk handles it.
In the matter of a couple hundred years, a hell of a lot has changed.
Everything I say is true.
So
there's no lies here. I tell the best truth. My truth is the best. I'm a most honest person.
Well, that's the story, man.
I'm still your president.
You think what you want about it. And
I won the election in a landslide. It was all rigged.
I think free speech is still a very important thing.
I'm too old for this shit. I love Lethal Weapon 2 and 3 with Joe Pesci. I'm a big fan of Joe Pesci. Rene Russo comes in the fourth. Big fan. Jet Li. What that mean?
Because without free speech, Rich, you're also allowing one side of a narrative. Always.
Yeah.
That's the truth. And that's not very American. Now, do I care that much? No. But that's the story, guys. There's a very much an opposing thing going on when it comes to Elon Musk.
Is it scary?
What happens if Jeff Bezos buys this? And
is it? Yeah.
Now they're going to control this narrative.
Is the scarier?
Billionaires are controlling narratives.
No, is the scarier thing the thought that billionaires could just sort of buy these things up? Is that the scarier, bigger
That's
picture?
The wave effect that we touched on for a second, but it went nowhere. So anyway, figured I'd bring it up again.
Who we got on the phone spot?
I'll give you half a guess.
Jason Brown.
Downtown Jason Brown. What's up, Jason?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, great show, man. Great show. I love the content, man. I really appreciate what you guys are doing, man. Keep
Well,
up
I had
the
to
work.
bring some ideas, either that or you're going to hear me talk about my personal life again. We don't need that.
I mean, look, I don't mind. I mean, I relate to what you say a lot, and you know what I'm saying? I absolutely appreciate listening to your perspective and stuff like that. So my point on the Elon Musk thing is I don't really care either way it goes. The only issue that I can foresee is it being a slippery slope, and the slippery slope that I see is when you say free speech for everybody. Well, that literally means everybody, the people that you agree with and the people you don't agree with. And the problem with that is we as Americans, we do a terrible job of policing ourselves. And so because we do a bad job of policing ourselves, we allow so many things to take place that, you know, in one way that we like it, in another way that we don't like it. So I foresee it potentially being a really big problem, but somebody's going to have to step up and say, okay, hey, look, this is what's allowed, this is what's not allowed. Because if you don't, then you end up having a whole lot of chaos with no directions or no boundaries.
Hey, Jason, I know that we're constantly evolving personally, politically, socially. Everyone's constantly evolving. We realize there's a need for things that there was never a need for. There's edibles. There's things that used to exist that there's no need for anymore, right? Right? I mean, like to me, wait, great edibles. I love edibles. Drinking, not my thing anymore.
Right.
Do we need
there are adjustments that need to be made to fit into today's world and
but
the
I'm
way
saying,
we live now. I understand what you're
is
saying.
it like foolish to be like, well, hey, maybe there should be a committee comprised of Republicans, Democrats, Independents, everything. Perhaps a committee that decides what constitutes free speech in 2022.
Because Stu did bring up a grand point. You know, like now the world thinks Michael Dukakis is a pedophile, right?
Yeah.
How's he ever going to win? That's not fair, right? So a committee of people, maybe Elon Musk is saying, yeah, free speech should be allowed, but it needs to be fair and balanced.
Yeah.
And that's how we're going to do it. I think that's a great idea.
So I got one additional. I got one additional point to what you're saying. And Elon Musk is he's ahead of his time in so many other ways. And you were talking about things evolving and things changing. And Elon Musk only a couple of years ago was talking about the advancements in artificial intelligence and how we haven't even begun to address that situation. And so it's stuff like this that we haven't even begun to think about how it's going to affect our lives, that it's going to come a lot faster than people realize. And they, and if we don't have a plan to address these situations, then it's going to, overtake us. And then next thing you know, we're going to be completely behind the 8 ball.
He's right. We didn't have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be a plan. I'm sure he's, and again, this is his last tweet, which pretty much answers these questions. Thank you, Jason. I don't think anyone disagreed with anyone there, which is great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Elon Musk says, by free speech, I simply mean that which matches the law. I'm against censorship that goes far beyond the law. People want less free speech. They will ask government to pass laws to that effect. Therefore, going beyond the law is contrary to the will of the people. So keep you posted on that. Again, he's the guy. What's the wave effect? Will there be a fair and equal balanced committee? There should be. I agree. And, I'm just reading some other information. Misinformation has always been allowed. That's why Snopes exists. That's why defamation lawyers exist. Memes go viral all the time with fake information.
Snopes?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, who? So this is a bigger deal. I'm sure they'll figure that out.
If the
People are losing their minds about it.
If the metaverse
This conversation makes me grumpy.
No, you got to go.
Grumpy.
If the metaverse and
Grumpy.
social media is only growing,
Look what the internet
we,
did to me.
we do need to find a
becoming
way
our
to,
reality.
yeah, we do need to find a way to
Grumpy.
differentiate free speech and
Hate speech.
hateful
Hate
misinformation
speech.
that's tricking people.
Right. And there wasn't any. There's just
Like
people
if
saying,
if someone did a deep fake of, I don't know, fucking Denzel Washington. It's like a deep fake of Denzel talking about how he loves to touch kids.
Why would you say such things?
Why would you say such
he's the
things?
best actor ever. He's so damn cool. He's so damn clever. What if someone did some fake shit? Are we supposed to be like, free speech? No, it's fucking no.
Well, anyway,
Right?
is my heart really that into what's going on? Not really. I'm telling you what's going on. That's our job. I'm telling you what's going on.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what's going on. You made me think of something else. You brought up Denzel Washington, the best actor ever. So darn cool. He's so darn clever. Denzel was in the news recently. And honestly, this is something I wanted to talk about. So it's perfect. I'm not bouncing around like Rich. Speaking of Rich, what are you investing in lately? Speaking of lately, remember Jodeci? Jodeci was great.
Who said I touch kids? Ha!
All right, so Denzel Washington was invited to or just showed up in the Dodgers locker room recently, right?
Yeah.
And he gave a great speech, like a really, honestly, Spot, if you want to play it, it's fucking moving.
How about if I just recreate it?
He gave a great speech to the LA Dodgers.
Can I recreate it? No, okay, let me pull it up.
And he's a guy from the Bronx. He's from New York. He's a Yankees guy. But he went in there and he's like, basically told them about their responsibility and the power they have and how, to not take it for granted because it's not forever. And you could see all these dudes were in awe of Denzel Washington. And I saw our guy, Matt Vasgersian of the MLB Network asking Cody Bellinger about it. Cody Bellinger's back. He's back in a big way. Player of the week in baseball. He's the guy who struggled, injury. He's back now, playing well again. And he also said, my mind's right. It's not always physical. Could be a lot going on,
And
right?
noggin.
But here's what I've noticed while Spot brings up the Denzel thing. Baseball's taking a different approach to trying to make it cool, and their approach is really fucking weird. From my over observations, as a professional over observationalist,
I was gonna say the one thing I noticed. No, he's wearing a Dodgers jersey.
Wearing a Dodgers jersey. Yeah.
The one thing that I've noticed about baseball that I've liked is I've noticed a few more mic'd ups.
Yes,
and I like that. I like that.
of that. Bryce Harper this past weekend.
I like the mic'd up thing because
a lot.
When in a slow moving game like baseball that I do love, that's more about strategy. There is downtime. So if you got the first baseman mic'd up and he's chatting with the announcers, it's not distracting. Trust me, it's not like you're in a huddle. If you're playing right field, you could be small talking to A-Rod.
Yeah. It's kind of.
I think it's kind of cool.
They're doing things. So before I give you my observation, let's check out Denzel because they asked Cody Bellinger about this speech.
Years old. Well, in 61, when I was 6 years old, you guys won. Dodgers won. 62, when I was 7 years old, the Dodgers won. 8 years old in 63, the Dodgers played the Yankees. And you had a great player, a couple of great players, but two that I remember, one who pitched like this by the name of Koufax, and another one by the name of Drysdale. And we loved our team so much, we would go down to the Yankee Stadium. We'd get down there around the 8th inning and hang around the field, hang around the turnstile, and the cops would turn their back and let us sneak in. So I loved the Yankees. I hated the Dodgers because I was supposed to, because that's what you do when you're 8 years old. So we would play wiffle ball. You guys are much too young. You don't have to.
I find boring. This is the most boring thing I've ever heard.
Obviously, this is the weakest clip possible. He pulled the fucking not your fault spot. I know we're on the fly.
This is the whole thing. I don't have the isolated version.
I know it's not your fault, but he goes on to be really inspiring, right?
I mean, I could skip ahead if you want.
Terry, sound like an old guy telling a boring story.
No, I'm gonna skip ahead. I'll skip ahead.
No,
let's see what's going on here.
It wasn't everything to me to just be. I'm getting emotional talking about it. Just to be one of you guys meant everything. Those kids watch you. They make every move you make. They watch that. I wanted to walk like you guys. I wanted to eat what you ate. I wanted to play like you played. I wasn't as good, but I believed in you. There were Spanish players in those days, Aparicio, Manny Mota,
it's all good.
Marichal.
But he goes on to say, like, these kids idolize you. I idolize you.
I heard that.
You guys have a power.
Yeah.
You know, and live it up, man, because it doesn't last forever. And you see the faces of the players, and they're like, man, this is Denzel Washington. So they were asking Cody Bellinger about it, and I noticed something that they're doing in baseball, and I'm just throwing it out there because it's an observation I made, and I promise you, once I make this observation to you, you're going to notice it. Just like Rich said, they're miking up players a lot more. So, like, Matt Vasgersian goes, Cody, how did you feel watching Denzel? And he's like, oh, he's the best actor ever. Right?
Yeah.
Right? And they're like, was anyone in the locker room unaware of who Denzel was? And he's like, well, sure the hell, I sure hope not. You know, he's the best actor ever. But then Matt Vasgersian, who's one of the voices of MLB, he does something that I've repeatedly noticed that they do nowadays. They treat these Major League Baseball players like little leaguers. You know how little leaguers answer like ridiculous questions about like, who's your favorite actor? What's your favorite snack? What's your favorite movie? They do this with professional athletes now just to sort of, I guess, build that connection.
To personalize them.
To
give them,
it's such a strategery move by MLB and the network and I don't know, who's the fucking commissioner? Manfred?
Rob Manfred? I don't know if he has anything to do with anything good.
But it's a clear fucking motive, or I don't want to use the word agenda, to make sure we personalize these guys more, because then it immediately turns into, so Cody Bellinger, player of the week. What's your favorite breakfast? Pancakes or waffles? Yeah, well, to be honest, Matt, I think it's pancakes. And then I noticed they do this with every player interview that you see now.
Yeah, they're trying to
on
get more
MLB.
personal. I get it. Makes sense to me.
It's the same way they handle these little kids. Like, yeah, I hit dingers. I love He-Man and I hit dingers. They do now with the professional athletes. The end. It started with Denzel, though. Denzel. Hey, speaking of baseball, my rando news of the day was Elon Musk made the deal. What's your thoughts? We talked about that yesterday briefly. Anthony Rizzo. No one gave a shit about Anthony Rizzo because everyone was talking about Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman.
Sports?
No, it was just a thought. Anthony Rizzo hit 3 home runs for the first time in his career yesterday at Yankee Stadium. And he hit one, Rich. His final one was one that you rarely see. It was foul. And the English brought it back fair. And even he was like, the fuck was that?
I got to see it.
Oh, yeah. It was he hit 2 home runs already. He gets up. He hits another bomb. Getting short porch. I get it. He's at Yankee Stadium. Perfect swing. So the Yankees made the best move keeping his dude. But anyway, it's the first time Anthony Rizzo in his career. He leads the why do you care? He leads the majors, not just the Yankees, majors in home runs right now. And he hit 3. He was leading the AL yesterday. He leads the majors now. But he hit one foul.
Oh, I'm watching it now. He stood at home plate because he thought it was foul.
And he looks into the dugout like, the fuck was that? 3 home runs last night. Yankees with a big win. And that leads me to Rich's update of he's now gambling on baseball like a maniac.
I'm doing great with baseball gambling.
Rich is now a baseball gambler. Just throwing it out there.
Baseball gambling, I find to be, my strategy's been working so far. Power pitchers versus not so good teams.
That's the
equation. I've done it every day. And
but did you hear that Cody Bellinger likes pancakes over waffles?
Well, I bet on him on on early games.
I don't
after
know
he
if
has
that
pancakes.
affects your decisions.
Like today, you could say,
all right, Bryce. Question of the day: Cocoa Puffs or Cocoa Pebbles?
Like I like the.
That's a good one, Matt.
I bet the Mets today.
Pebbles on this one.
I bet the Mets today against the bad pitcher. I bet the Yankees today against the bad pitcher. Who else did I bet today?
You're a maniac. Hear this guy? He's betting baseball now.
He's
betting baseball.
Yeah, to me, baseball betting is my new little fun thing. I enjoy it. It keeps me interested
Are
every
they
day.
parlays or just straight up?
Just little parlays.
Oh, they are parlays. But you're going based on power pitching over weak hitting.
Good and teams that are hot. Like I did LA teams and New York teams today.
High fly ball down the right field line. And it's gone. A home run for Anthony Rizzo.
Sorry. Is that it?
Yeah, no, that's it.
No, it's hard to see the angle, but like you can tell. And you can tell it was like foul and somehow the wind took it back.
They said it had English on it. And then the images from that, he was like, even when he was in the dugout, he was like, I have no fucking clue how that was fair. 3 home runs. Yeah. That's a night, man. That's a night.
I have one of his like reaction. Wait, hang on.
But it's kind of cool. I mean, here's a lifelong Cub having some success now with the Yanks. Look.
He's like, oh, shit.
Look, he's like, oh, home run, okay. And then he gets back to the dugout, and he's like, damn.
Yeah, I bet Mets.
So the Bronx Bombers were out last night. I'm excited about it.
What did I do today?
God, can I just say, too, on a personal note, yesterday I went on, like, a little bit of a grumpy.
Yeah.
Yesterday's show, I was like, meh.
Grumpy.
Complaino and rich.
Meh.
Life's tough. Meh. Dude, watching the Yankees slug it out last night
gives you joy.
It's just so dope. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, yeah.
I bet today, if you want to play along, I bet Mets, Yanks, Angels, and Dodgers 14 parlay. Yanks, Mets, Dodgers, Angels. Just coincidentally,
starting
2 LA teams,
everything,
2 New York teams.
You don't have a power pitcher going against the Orioles tonight.
Montgomery,
he's a goon.
But I look at I said sometimes I'll do power pitchers or I'll do good teams versus just bottom feeders of the league.
Okay. So Yankees.
So I got Yanks and I got Ohtani's pitching for the Angels tonight.
Okay.
And he bounced back last game. So I got Yanks, Mets, Angels, Dodgers.
Sometimes I feel like you guys are speaking a whole other language.
14 parlay.
He's a fucking maniac.
Sometimes I feel like
I got to keep up with Rich with this
say
shit.
words and phrases
Like what?
that sound like you're speaking a completely different
Like what,
language.
though, Spot?
What was a weird
Bottom
word?
feeders and all these names of people and,
Well, that's
and
self-explanatory, right?
Bottom feeders, like the
I'm just
Orioles.
saying,
Are,
like,
the
you say
Orioles
all-
are.
you say
a-
these things in succession that make it sound like you're speaking.
Like,
completely
when I say
different
the
language.
Orioles are a bottom feeder,
They're-
the Orioles have as many home runs as a team as Anthony Rizzo had last
I
night.
just want you to know that that's how I feel sometimes.
No, he means they're the same colors as clown loaches, what are often considered bottom feeders. They're black and orange.
Yeah. See? So, yeah, I got
Bottom feeders, they're shit. They
Yeah.
eat the
Get
shit.
it,
They suck.
But like,
They're
a
in the bottom- they're the-
14
there was
parlay.
a series of phrases that you just said and I forget.
I hear words and clips and phrases.
I got I'm all about the baseball parlay spot. The baseball parlay to me is way easier to hit than the football parlay because football there's so many unknowns. I don't know. I just feel like baseball's so
And that
far.
means- and I'm sure there's some people that don't understand. That's fair. That means that Rich has several bets that all have to pan out in order to win. That's the parlay.
I won last night a 4-for-4 parlay in baseball. I've been doing good with baseball.
So, right.
I'll tell you what I have.
Rich's new obsession.
I'll tell you what I have tonight just to show you what it pays out. My bets tonight.
Tilapia.
I bet $16 because 16 is my lucky number. I just bet $16. $16 for Dodgers, Mets, Yanks, Angels. $16 pays $120. So if I win all four of those, $16 is $120. If I lose, it's $16.
That's fun. Makes it more. That does make it more fun.
Right, I
And
mean-
you're more invested. You're like, oh,
You know, I started the season. My football account had $800 left in it, and I'm up to like $1,200-$1,300. I'm up on the year, so why not? It's just fun, little day-to-day fun. Right?
Little-
money line. I do money line parlays. I don't do the run line. The run line is, you know what? It's the same for every game. -1.5, -1.5 runs. So I just do.
On a personal nugget, that's a great way to stay in tune to other games you really don't care about. Because as much as I love baseball, I like watching the Yankees.
I'll tell you what. You bet
I
on
don't
football.
care. I watch the highlights of the other teams, but I don't give a shit about what's going on with the other teams.
You know what, Cove? You bet on football, and a lot of guys will be like, "Yeah, I bet $100 or so a game," and it's just more at stake.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many baseball games. To me, a couple days a week doing like a $10 or $20 parlay when things line up the right way. If you lose a $10 bet spot, are you going to get mad?
No.
If you lose a $100 bet, you get like,
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
By the way,
Something I've been thinking about.
This morning, I got here a few minutes early. I walked around the block, made $120.
Yeah. Adam Bannister's right though. You do need
Did you
to
really?
add a run line once in a while to get the odds better. Like
Had to do nothing.
if like a shit team is playing a good pitcher, you might take the run line.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
As the game changes, and I want to harp on sports, we could do this on Sundays.
Oh, is it sports?
Radio. No. It's a question.
No, is it sports?
It's not news.
Sports!
It's not news.
Oh, wait, that's news.
It's not news.
Baseball, tennis, football helmet, soccer, football, sports.
I was playing a game with my buddies the other day, and my Uncle Joe, too. I was like, what was the name of that guy? Remember that guy that was on the Yanks? 'Cause I couldn't think of his name, right? Like, so many players come and go.
Yeah.
Oh, remember he looked like Quasimodo, dude. He looked like Quasimodo. Remember? Middle relief guy came up big in 96. Real ugly looking guy. And he came through. Quasimodo. Come
I know.
on, bro. You remember?
Yeah.
But anyway, I threw that out, and then Barry finally got it.
Scott Brosius.
No, pitcher.
Oh.
But Scott Brosius was not the most handsome of guys and came through.
Shit, who was it?
Atrocious, like Scotty Brosius. A pitcher by the name of David Weathers. Right? He was a middle relief guy.
I remember David Weathers, of course.
So then I started like dwelling on so many important middle relief guys that never really got the credits. Again, for me, it would be like Ramiro Mendoza, Jeff Nelson, Mike Stanton, guys like that.
Of course.
That you probably remember.
I remember the guys on. There's always good middle relievers that never get the love. You're right.
Well, as the game's changing, are the middle reliever guys who were so fucking crucial to the game right now gonna be getting the credit? Is there gonna be a stat or a credit that is really gonna put them like these?
I'll give you an analogy.
These are the pitchers I named were so much a part of those championship teams. No one talks about Jeff Nelson.
Guys, the way
no one
football,
talks about Jeff Nelson.
Cove, the way football has changed, where guys like Debo Samuel and Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams are doing so much, where wide receivers are now getting paid at a different level, and running backs.
So I'm saying are middle relief.
No, but I'm
guys
saying
gonna-
and running backs have actually are getting paid less because
or like a fullback.
Yeah.
It's not as important as he used to be.
I think middle relievers, you're going to start to see. They're not going to get starting pitcher money, but
are
they
they
might
gonna get
start
the
getting a little
accolades?
more. I think they might start getting a little more accolades.
Like who gets remembered? Obviously, if you're not a non-sports fan, the starter and maybe the closer, right? The guys in the middle who kept it going, they got no credit.
Well,
They
because
were
when
so
we were
important.
kids, there were no middle relievers.
Right, but as that adjusted, you still just took them for granted because
If you-
there was no stat
if you want to be
that really gave them any
if you
sort
want
of
to
props.
be if you want to be stat boy for real to wrap up this sports conversation.
These starting pitchers are being pulled so early.
yeah, that's my
These middle
point.
relievers are more important than ever.
Go back to your favorite website, Baseball Reference.
Yeah.
Look at like the 88 Yankees. Their pitching staff was not as big as a pitching staff now.
It
Like
went from Ron Guidry to Dave Rigetti.
Like, no, think about the 86 Mets only because there's just such a team that even regular people remember the 86 Mets. You don't need to be a Mets fan to remember that team. Starting pitching, like Doc Gooden, Ron Darling, Bobby Ojeda, Sid Fernandez. You had and Rick Aguilera. You had your starters.
And Jesse Orosco.
And then all you can think of outside of that is, Roger McDowell and Jesse Orosco. Who else was in the bullpen? You look at the team, no one.
So,
like,
are they going to be getting paid, remembered, and acknowledged in a different way as we see how important?
Yeah, it's a
they
changing
are?
game.
It's a changing game. You're yanking. By the way, there's so many starting pitchers like the Kershaws of the world that are doing great. They don't have the wins to justify that because they're not even going deep into the
All right,
game.
well, then
half the time.
let me give you one more question about sports, and then we'll move on. I have a relationship thought to end the day.
Middle relievers are going to be getting more wins.
Yeah, no, they will, and it's a weird win because sometimes a guy will come in for an inning and just because.
Anyway, something I've been. These are my fucking thoughts. I share them with you. The end.
Buck Showalter making the biggest difference on earth.
You like him, huh? It's like having a real professional involved.
How can you not when the Mets have the best record in baseball?
Yeah,
they're coming from behind, winning in the ninth inning, being crazy good, and you could say, well, they spent a lot of money. They got Buck Showalter, so they have a crew.
You know what it's like, guys? Just for the non-sports fans, it's like you work for a company and there's a fucking dummy running it, and then Marcus Lemonis comes in and he's like, "Yeah, or John Taffer comes in, and he's like, "Yeah, you're a dummy. You're a dummy. Here's how we do it." Buck Showalter is the John Taffer, Marcus Lemonis guy who changes the culture of everything.
And Adam Bannister brings up a good point because everyone loves to say, well, back then pitchers went 7-8 innings and they never got hurt and this and that. Could I tell you something, though? Keith Hernandez points this out as well, Adam. Guys today are all throwing 98, 100 miles an hour. The Mets, among other teams, I think the Mets broke a record where they have, of their 5 starters, I think 4 of them can throw 100 or more. Something ridiculous. Back then, guys were throwing 88 to 92. So why all the injuries? These guys are fucking pushing themselves far beyond what people used to.
And my final thought on that, Stoney homie and Chris and everybody, there's got to be a different, ERA matters, earned run average, but there's got to be a different measurement of what makes them awesome that we all could identify with. Because wins, losses do not matter for pitchers anymore.
Now, Buck Showalter brought up a good point about, and it has to do with your boy Mariano Rivera as well. Because Edwin Diaz has been pretty solid for the Mets lately.
Yeah.
And he's just saying how we forget that not only does a closer have the pressure of coming in to finish a big game.
Yeah.
He said a closer comes in with the other team. It's not like the 6th inning where the middle relief guy comes in and like, I'm not saying the other team's in cruise control, but everyone in the other team's like, this is it. We got to get him. Like when you're facing the other team in the 9th inning of a close game, Mariano Rivera was dominant against every team who was like, this is our last licks. So you're not even getting the other team. You're getting the other team in a pressure situation. So
yeah, they're choking up.
So it's like you're facing the other team in its most focused moment, which makes being a closer even tougher. But I have one thought about baseball, and then, like I said, a relationship thing to end the show.
What we're hitting on is really, though, interesting.
I love baseball.
Yeah, it's. I'm sorry if you don't like baseball, but this is like an interesting thought because the game is changing a lot.
Now, as the game changes, we said it. If you're a football fan, you realized how players are calling their own shots. Running backs are not as valuable as wide receivers. 5 years ago, the hot commodity, top running back for 10 years ago. Wide receivers, it's a passing game more than ever, right? Used to be quarterbacks too small. Size doesn't matter as much now for a quarterback as much as their mobility. Things change in sports.
Good 17 centimeters could go far.
That's what I'm saying.
In the NFL.
Answer this question.
And in Spotty's bedroom.
Now, Max Scherzer has started 4 games this year.
My thought of Max Scherzer, phenomenal pitcher. I can never be friends with the guy.
Can't look at his eyes?
Cannot look at that guy.
Why?
He has 2 different color eyes, Spot, but not just 2 different color eyes. It's fucking ridiculous how off his eyes are. I could never be friends with that guy. I could never. I would have Rich Davis moments staring at him. Like I'm not listening. I can only notice.
I'm only looking at you.
I can only notice your fucked up eyes right now. You know, Rich is looking at your hairline and you got a hair on your nose, and Rich is never like really focused on what he's looking at everything else. Max Scherzer is impossible to talk to. That's my thought.
Yeah. So Max Scherzer,
it's bad.
He's pitched.
Is it really that bad?
It's that bad.
Yeah, look up a picture of Max. So Scherzer's pitched 4 games. He's 3-0. The Mets are 4-0 in the 4 games he's played. His ERA is 1.80. 33 strikeouts, second in baseball.
Covino!
Yeah.
Will you be my friend?
Nah, I'm good. I can't. Sorry, Max.
Clancy!
I don't know which eye's more weird.
You know,
we could go see Cirque du Soleil together.
I don't know which eye to stare at.
Hey!
No,
Spot, you know, the Mets have played off his eyes. The Mets have a promo poster where he has one blue eye, one orange eye.
Yeah, I
like
know.
they play off.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But Scherzer, 4 games, he's 3-0. The Mets are 4-0 in his 4 games.
He doesn't sound like that, right?
When I say he's lights out, like his whip.
It's like Sean Merriman.
His whip walks and hits per inning pitched.
It's like me having funky time.
0.7, Covino.
Oh, it's Wednesday.
Mexican Ghostbusters are here.
0.7. So the guy's dominating. But my question is this, not about him being so dominant.
Like Rich in the bedroom in the early 2000s.
I know, not anymore. Buck Showalter.
Rich in a Turkish bath in the early 2000s.
Buck Showalter is like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to keep giving Max Scherzer an extra day rest. Now, you're thinking Max Scherzer is the highest paid player in baseball. He pitches every 5th game, and he makes $40 million a year. What do you mean you're giving him extra rest? This is your workhorse. And Buck's like, I've sampled with the idea of giving him a 6-day rest, and the guy's unhittable. It may rob him of a few extra starts over the length of a season.
/ wins.
Oh, yeah, but he's like,
That's unimportant.
instead of 37, 35, 36 starts, maybe Scherzer does 32 or 33 starts, but he's like that extra day rest. He's like, look at the product. Max, at this stage of his career, is unhittable. Why would I put this guy in the 5-day rotation especially when DeGrom comes back from injury? It's like we could have a 6-man rotation and Max Scherzer could be fresh all year with an extra day off. And other people are like, so you're pampering the guy that you're paying $40 million? But wouldn't you rather that peak performance if it means an extra day off? Like
Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play.
Yo, Rich hasn't been that distracted by a brown eye since the early 2000s.
In the early 2000s.
It's true.
In the early 2000s.
Thank you.
All right, so that's our nonsense. Yeah, that's a pretty good, deep discussion that we probably should have had on Fox Sports Radio.
You can save it.
And we'll do it again. Maybe.
Recycle it.
But
Yeah, let's use it again.
yeah, no, honestly, it's some good shit right there if you're paying close attention to what's going on.
Write it down.
And it has a lot to do with maybe, the lack of spring training too.
But if you're Buck Showalter, you're going to get respected. So it seems like most people are like, yeah, roll with it then. Because if this guy's freaking unbeatable right now when he's rested, why are you gonna change things?
I'm with it. Buck Showalter's a great baseball guy.
Yeah.
So, hey, that's the rando news of the day.
You think in the olden days he would have been killed because they would have thought he was some type of wizard or witch or something with the 2 eyes? Kill him!
Oh, Scherzer?
Yeah.
That's odd.
He would have thought he was like some warlock.
So
I've 2 major announcements.
Really?
Personal major announcements.
Oh, really?
Spot has 2 personal major announcements. Well, then I guess my
But you can say what you want.
No,
they're quick.
My friend in need.
You have 2 major personal announcements. That's much more important than.
Well, I feel like they're gonna be lame. I feel like it's gonna be like, I got new shoes on my app.
No, not yet.
Okay. I got new running stepping
I
shoes.
earned 120 bucks this morning in an 8-minute walk.
Wow.
With a little reason, with a little rhyme.
I gotta get you guys on this slowly. Oh, Rich, would it help you to know that like certain people are involved in this? Like, I got Gabe involved.
No, I know.
I got Mauser involved.
Listen, dude, I'm not against it. I just feel like, you know what it is?
Once you get Drew Mac involved, Rich will be involved.
On a personal note,
even I'm involved.
I'm not against your NFT shoes and how you're earning money spot. Did
you see the latest NFT to sweep in the nation? I'm not even kidding.
Is it Max Scherzer's eyes?
Some is that type of cartoon monkey or something?
No, it's you're gonna be like, what? Really? No way.
I bought a house on the other side of Snoop Dogg.
In the metaverse.
In the metaverse.
No, before you give us your announcement spot, I was talking to Sarah about this yesterday. There's so many things that, when you look at the way the market is, crypto and the stock market, you can't get mad about things when everyone's losing. Does that make sense? Like if Covino, if you put $10,000 in a stock and it plummeted, but everyone else was like, yo, Covino, I put my money in this and it's fucking killing it. Then you'd be like, fucking kidding. But if everything is down,
yeah.
If no one you know or no one on planet Earth, when the NASDAQ is down over 20% this year, and this is a losing year by far, then could you really be mad when you look at your funds? It's if the stocks are, the market is something where if everyone else is winning and you're not winning, you're like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? But if everyone has been
my game tokens
not doing great, doesn't it change your perspective?
Wait, P10 is leaving the show.
Oh no, please don't.
She said she was bored with your stock talk.
That's full. I get it.
Come back.
Let's liven things up.
Well, that makes me think of the hottest NFT in the game right now.
Is it? Are you in a boat? Or no? Close second.
There it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's the hottest NFT on planet Earth.
Courtesy of Mike Durban.
And a snorkel mask.
Mike Durban.
Or a piece of fingers in a snorkel
Me
mask.
with a snorkel. All right.
But I'm saying there are some funds that people are so down on, right? Like you knock on wood, I would say like what I'm trying to say is like most of your losing is done percentage-wise. Like if you're down on a stock, if you're even there, I read an article yesterday, Spot. Are you bored by this?
Well, he does have two huge announcements.
I get very like I'm in this little hole right here. I get very like.
What I was saying, there was an article yesterday talking about how 20 of the biggest large cap stocks are all down over 50%.
No cap.
Rich only wears large. cap
go on.
stocks.
Tell me your announcements.
Rich only has large cap stocks because of his head.
Tell me your Spot. You have two announcements.
I have two announcements. One of them is you know how we discussed them yesterday that I feel like it's been 6 weeks since I've had sex. That streak has ended. So that's my first major announcement. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And then my second major announcement, and I'm like 90% sure that this is the case, but I am pretty sure that loogie guy has moved out.
Your neighbor?
You know, Rich, you know how you came back to my place and there was a whole ton of shit there?
You think that was loogie guy stuff?
That was loogie guy, which just even more shows what a fucking inconsiderate prick he is.
A guy that used to hawk loogies
so the
right
guy
above
that would hawk
Spot's
loogies
patio.
that would all day, not even that.
So it'd be
all
raining
day long.
loogies.
This is what I would hear all day long. All day long.
And then you would see the loogie
in from his apartment, on the balcony, inside, outside, all over, all day long. Gone. So
and I stole his soccer bowl.
So you you have Loogie Guy's soccer bowl. Can we break it?
Oh.
So you don't know how much joy this brings me.
Loogie guy left all like, you know, when you go to the front of your apartment complex and someone moves, they leave stuff like it's out for the taking. Like I'm not taking it, but if someone wants it instead of trash.
Yeah.
Loogie guy someone left out like a cereal bowl, but it was like shaped like a soccer ball in the middle, had like a little soccer ball, and it looked brand new. And I was like, I'll take this, and Andy will like this.
On Spot. And he made $120 just walking around the block this morning before the show.
What a day, Spot.
And I disproved our statement yesterday because I also jerked off in the middle of the afternoon. So not only did I jerk off,
this guy,
but I also had sex.
Hey, could Rich clog dance in those shoes, by the way?
Yes, are there NFT clog shoes where if I just dance around the house?
Then he might be raking in the dough.
What if do they have like some Michael Flatley fucking Riverdance shoes that I could buy?
Think of if Rich could river dance in these bad boys, he might be making millions.
Joggers, runners, trainers.
Cloggers?
No cloggers, sorry.
Dang. I tried for you, Rich.
Sorry.
But hey, there you go, Spot.
Yeah. That's a huge day for me.
That's big news.
This is two huge announcements. Loogie Guy. I mean, you don't know how much joy I have from Loogie Guy being gone. It was a terror. He's a terror. It was a terror.
Yeah.
Hearing
That's
that sound,
an ongoing nightmare.
Hearing that sound would destroy me. Every time it happened, I'm like, shut the fuck up.
I can only imagine.
And it wasn't from the balcony. It was inside his apartment. I could hear it.
Yeah, that was
because it would be out the window, down inside. It's thank God.
Rolando's right.
Of course,
huge.
now a family of like 16 people is going to move in upstairs with like 30 kids and
cloggers
with
magic shoes.
But you know what? I'm fine with that.
Yeah, Spot. You know what? Yeah, the only thing that could be worse, you're right, is if some dance crew moves in upstairs.
A lot of
a tap dancer,
young Filipinos,
break skate. Remember them, the roller skating ones?
Oh, it's really queer. It's really weird. Upstairs.
And by the way,
Spot has the Jabberwockies moved into apartment not 308.
I did report him. I did because I had a video of him spitting. And I reported him to building management. I think it's only all it did was stop him from spitting over the balcony. He still went outside. He still smoked whatever he smokes. He still hawked up loogies. Made that sound. The sound was just the gross part.
Yeah.
Like, imagine listening to that sound all day long.
Well, no, anytime I had stayed by you for a couple days,
you heard it.
I was like, how does Spot not? This must drive him insane.
It was unbearable. Yeah, I got to back Spot up on that. It was gross.
Yeah,
but that's big news.
Yeah, and I know he smokes because I saw him on the highway once smoking a cigarette. So he's gone. Ding dong. Loogie Guy's dead.
I'm fascinated by people that still smoke cigarettes.
So am I.
Only because we
saw it in Vegas.
Yeah, there was a couple times where I looked and I'm like, we were at some little lounge or something. I'm like, yeah, we're in a casino, so it's allowed. But I'm like, there's this woman just sitting here like, gross. And I'm like, smoking cigarettes in 2022 just seems like a habit.
You know what else is really fucking gross in 2022? Just anyone coughing.
Oh yeah,
I hate. You know, COVID exists, right? You piece of shit.
Yeah, and you know what?
Coughing in my public.
And I've thought about this because you and I are both throat clearers, and I've had to curb that back just for the consideration of I'm a typical just for no reason. I'm like,
yeah, I'm offended when I hear that.
And when I'm at the gym or something,
I always say I'm like gross. I say that out loud.
Yeah, I do too. After a while, even if I turn around, it's like some old lady with her rain hat on, I'm like, you fucking old piece of shit. Better chill with that. Gross. Coughing on me.
Should I move into Loogie Guy's apartment so I'm on the top floor?
Yeah, what do you want to move for? Aren't you comfortable?
Yeah, I am. Thought of moving everything is just annoying.
Truthfully, how long do you think you're going to be there?
Do
you have any aspirations of? And I'm saying you don't need to. I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm saying your apartment's cozy and nice, and it's you and Kristen. Is there really a reason for you to move anytime soon?
No, the only thing I would want to move to is a small house with a little yard, just have a little more space outside. But there's no need to rush.
I mean, the neighborhood you're in works for you and your wife, right?
Yeah. We couldn't move farther out. It would need to be in the direction of both of our jobs.
And you both work in different directions.
Sort of, yeah.
Unless you started doing more stuff for Fox and it was towards Burbank. But you know what? You talked about Burbank. Good luck buying a house there. And I say that like Liam Neeson. Good luck. The guy threatening Liam Neeson. Good luck. Burbank?
Jordan likes Burbank because it has its own police
department.
Does Jordan like that a 1,300 square foot house in Burbank that's smaller than your condo is $1.5 million?
Steve doesn't like that.
Does Jordan like that Burbank?
Stevie no like.
That Burbank has tiny homes for over $1 million easy?
You better start stepping, right, Spotty?
You better walk home every day.
Yeah, better get involved in those big cap stocks.
Yeah.
Big shoe stocks are better, I think.
Well, I have the article here. Just you guys, your interest level seemed very low.
No, he was talking big shoes. You're talking big caps. I don't know which one's more important.
21 large caps, not the ones I wear. Not the ones that.
What do you mean caps?
Not the one that.
No caps.
Not the one that David Wright used to wear.
One Fred Durst wears?
No, Fred Durst, no cap.
21 large cap.
I like my cap.
No cap, Fred Durst.
No, Fred Durst. I meant no cap like the kids say. What do you mean?
I've been saying that.
He loves his red Yankee hat.
Loves it.
21 large cap stocks have now crashed at least 50%, which makes you think. I was talking about this with Sarah because no one really knows the answer because different experts and different banks and different.
Well, don't give out misinformation.
Well, there's no misinformation because there's no information. Like there'll be people from Goldman Sachs. There'll be people from every big institution that will have their own thoughts. Some people think the market's going to recover this year, and other people think, hey, it's a down year. And by the end of the year, like, all right, for instance, right now, the Dow Jones, the Dow Jones yesterday fell 800 points. It's declined almost 10%. Oh, wait, it's down 10% from its high in 2022.
Okay.
The NASDAQ is down 20.2% in 2022. Tesla is down from its 6-month high 30%. Netflix crashed over 30%. Now, if you look at all these stocks, Zoom is down 75% from its high. DocuSign, PayPal, Netflix, Moderna, Etsy, Meta Platforms, Facebook, Wynn Resorts. A lot of these huge companies are down over 50%. So are you going to ask yourself, well, they will bounce back? Or wouldn't history tell you they will? Like from for the last 100 years or so, the market
It could be a tough few years ahead, though. And who suffers the most? The poor. Again, I saw a stat yesterday that said 63% of Americans live check to check. If we go into some sort of recession, and because of that, prices of common things continue to go up, how the fuck are these 63% who are going check to check going to survive?
My sister yesterday told me.
Please tell me that.
My sister, because I was talking about...
Good. I got those savings.
I know what it was. I was at the supermarket when I was talking to my sister yesterday. And, while you're chatting, like you're also like shopping or whatever, I was like, yo, Lori, hold on a second. Yo, can you believe this? Because the kids, once in a while, we get a couple things of ramen noodles for the kids for a little snack if they want
to get used to that shit. That's just cheap.
No. I said, look at that. Ramen noodles, Top Ramen, which I feel like in my life forever was always like 4 for $1, 25 cents each. I was like, look at this, Lori. She goes, what? 3 for $1. Ramen. Even the cost of shitty ramen noodles has gone up where instead of 20 cents each, they're 3 for $1. And she said in her neighborhood, she's like, not the organic ones.
Even Arizona iced teas, which were 99 cents, are now like $1.25.
My sister said in her neighborhood, like we're talking shitty eggs, like not the organic $4 a carton, $5 carton, organic large eggs. She's saying like the styrofoam shitty white eggs, like generic from the supermarket that are usually like $1 something. So they're like $3.
From those trifling chickens?
The trifling chickens, yeah.
Trifling chickens.
It's interesting. I do wonder what will happen with, like, for instance, Amazon.
If you're check to check in more than half of the country, that's mind baffling to me. More than half of the country's living check to check. Then what happens if what you said, if everything continues to go down? That's scary.
Like Netflix. Netflix, when it plummeted the other day, Netflix around the holidays, Covino, around Christmas time and Thanksgiving, was at its all-time high of like $600-something a share. Netflix is under 200 now. So do you say to yourself, let me fucking buy some Netflix? It's low as fuck. Or do you say, hey, maybe this is the new price?
No, I'd say I agree with you. History
Amazon
says it should bounce back.
Amazon.
That could, who knows when is the question.
Bro, Amazon was in the mid 3000s, and there were people like the experts of the world and the fucking Mad Moneys of the world that were saying...
Stu, I did argue that minimum wage was sufficient. Or we talked about that. That wasn't necessarily my argument. We talked about that. But if you're unhappy with what the minimum wage is for flipping a burger, I hate to break the news to you. There's not a lot of value in that.
Yeah, but
anybody could do
minimum
that.
wage was created.
But anyone could do that. It's those jobs were created to step up to another level.
No.
Those are entry level jobs.
Well, hold on.
If you don't like what it pays to flip a burger, get a better skill.
Amazon, for example.
Yeah.
which I think is still going to run the world. Amazon was like in $3,500 a share. And people were projecting, like the Jim Cramers of the world, saying like, oh, Amazon could be headed to $4,000 or $5,000 a share and it'll split and all this. Amazon's $2,700 a share. Like, in my mind, shouldn't you be gobbling up Amazon right now while it's like a low like that? We're going to look back and say, man, we just weren't brave enough.
No, it's not we. It's 100 minus 63.
That is 37.
Only 37% of the people have even like
money to spare.
And that's like how do you have money to spare on stocks of Amazon? That 30 out of that 37%.
I hear you.
Who are you talking to?
No, I
fucking 10% of the people.
I understand 100% of what you're saying.
So so hey, the 10% that has money to on stocks, you should be gobbling up on ass cheeks and Amazon stock.
Not to get into that annoying conversation again, but
and Netflix.
But minimum wage was created for a reason that no longer applies. That's why people have a problem with it. Minimum wage was created. Do you know why? Why
was minimum wage created?
Yeah.
Why was it created?
Yeah. Why do you think the origins of minimum wage?
So people weren't paid peanuts to work?
But what was the origins of minimum wage? I looked this up recently.
I'm having a tough time answering the question because I'm thinking what Spot's saying. And I'm also thinking like, well, we need somewhere to start from.
Some sort of, did it have to do with the assembly line in the Labor Act?
The Fair Labor Standards Act.
Yeah.
FDR. Mm-hmm. Minimum wage was created so that a person at minimum, if they have this job, like I guess you would say the lowest job you could have. What a low-paying job. You're an entry-level factory guy. You're flipping burgers. You're doing this. If they are in the workforce, that minimum, lowest wage, should be enough money for them to live. Not have luxury, but pay their rent, eat food.
You're going to tell me that these minimum wage people who are complaining aren't living luxury? You're going to tell me they don't have smartphones and designer shoes?
I saw someone else say something the other day about
bullshit.
I saw someone the other day.
Bullshit. They're all driving cars. They could take buses. It's horseshit. Obviously, there's an inflation problem and a minimum wage issue.
No, but
they're also living beyond their means.
I heard some.
There's more than.
I saw someone the other day.
There's so many levels to this problem.
I saw someone the other day give me some bullshit about like the internet's a luxury. You need the internet. That's a bill that is necessary.
That's a good debate.
You can't. Wait, it's not a debate.
Pretty good debate. You can go to a fucking library. It's free.
The internet is no longer a luxury item. You need the internet to check email for
work. I agree with you, but it's a good debate is what I'm saying.
And a smartphone. You can't get a job without a smartphone. My mother just got a job, right? Everything she did, they're like, we're emailing you, do it on your smartphone. What if you don't have a smartphone?
You go to the fucking library.
Yeah, but then you have to, I'm telling you, the world requires you now. You're not going to get anywhere without a smartphone and the internet. It's not a luxury anymore.
Spot, that's a good one.
Do you think the internet, do you think having Wi-Fi is a luxury?
No.
You know?
It's a necessity in this day and age.
That's a good one.
Right?
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is this, I think that's a pretty decent debate.
Yeah. No,
there could be a debate on the other side. I just kind of agree with Rich.
But
it's very difficult.
I'm just saying, I think minimum wage, I'm not saying people that are flipping a burger should be rocking Yeezys and living the greatest life. But what I'm saying is minimum wage is designed that, because in every city, out here in LA, why is my mom not moving to LA? Why is she moving to Maryland?
Because she's living within her means.
No.
For a job at Lowe's.
But all right. But there are also workers out here, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a Walmart a mile away, right? That Walmart worker, where do they live? They're out here in California. You think they're getting paid enough to live in the state of California?
Move. I don't know what to tell you.
But then there's no Walmart in California.
Those jobs are not meant for you to stay at anyway.
Yeah, but then you're saying there's no Walmart in California.
No, but you know what? People will work for it. That's the problem.
But
it's an ongoing issue.
You got a Target, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to pay $15 an hour or whatever it is. If you want these stores in your neighborhood or in your state, you need to pay them enough to live at the lowest means possible, right? If you're making $15 an hour, right, times 40 hours a week, what is that? $600 times 4, $2,400. Let's say $2,500 a month, minus taxes. I'm highballing
plus a roommate.
I'm highballing $1,800 a month, $2,000 a month after taxes. Let's say $2,000, and the lowest price of a 1-bedroom apartment is in between $1,500 and $2,000. How could someone live in a state like that?
Live with fucking 2 people, I guess.
In a 1-bedroom apartment?
I'm not saying it doesn't add up. I'm saying,
but that's why the argument that you keep that you're arguing against.
No, my argument against it was, well, if you're not going to do it, there's going to be some fucking poor ass immigrant person that will do it. That's just the truth.
If moving is the answer, Covino, don't be upset with the service you receive when you talk about, I got bad service at this place.
No, I'm upset with the pride that people have in their work ethic.
I just think if you work at Walmart, my mother's the perfect example. She's moving to Maryland. And by the way, next week, I can't wait to tell you all about what I have in store next week. But she's moving to a state where an apartment, like a 2-bedroom apartment with a living room and a kitchen, and it's like $1,000.
I have to address like these boneheads. When I was making $24,000 a year, right? I'm not saying that the world wasn't more balanced then. It was.
It was 25 years ago.
But when I was making $24,000 a year, I didn't feel like it was enough. I didn't feel like it was a lot. I feel like I deserved more. It didn't affect the effort of work I put into my craft. It didn't affect the amount of pride and effort that I put into my work. Do you see? You're still going to get rewarded. You're gonna. If I'm a business owner, who am I going to fucking promote? The guy who doesn't give a fuck or the guy who's trying?
I don't think it's you keep talking about work ethic.
I'm responding to feedback.
That has nothing to do with work ethic. I'm just talking about.
I just got feedback.
You brought up
that someone said, "Can he please acknowledge that working harder isn't always the answer?" It's a reflection of you.
But
if you want to be reflected on as a fucking schlub, then that's totally on you. Then I'm going to look at you like a schlub.
I'm just saying that you said, and the only reason this came up is that you said,
yes, I lived at home with my $24,000 a year. People don't have to have a 1-bedroom apartment. There are ways to get by.
Where are they going to live?
Live with someone else.
Live in a 1-bedroom apartment. Live with a stranger in a 1-bedroom apartment.
It doesn't look. I don't fucking control inflation.
That's not the standard in which minimum wage was created for.
We get that.
Minimum wage was created so that someone could live and raise their family on this as the minimum wage.
Fucking start doing TikTok dances. Step in time like Spot. Get another job.
You're missing the point.
No, the point is, dude, everybody's fucking working multiple jobs.
Steppenwolf.
We all have multiple jobs. So guess what? Your fucking burger gig, get another fucking job, asshole. Because you doing nothing's not going to fix the problem. You crying is not going to fix the problem. You getting a second job is going to help you at least survive while the problem gets fixed. I got like 4 jobs.
What problem's going to get fixed?
You not doing anything is not going to fix the problem.
No. But to not point out.
So if flipping burgers isn't paying up your rent, get another fucking job, bro. Add on to it.
You brought up the fact that 60-something% of people,
63%,
live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, that's scary and sad.
And my response was, well, that's not surprising based on our previous conversation about minimum wage and wages. Yes, it's what's this Spot?
Oh no, I'm looking at.
I bet you a lot of those people out of the 63%, I bet you a lot of them aren't working multiple jobs. They're just like, I ain't getting paid enough for my Applebee's job. Get another fucking job. Get 2 jobs. Or you're gonna fucking not survive.
So the answer is
learn to swim. Learn to swim, guys. Learn to swim. Because you're gonna drown. So what's the answer? Pout? What's the answer, bro? Get another job is the only answer right now.
That's the answer?
We got how many jobs do you got? Why should the dude who's making minimum wage just be like, I can't survive on one job? Yeah, we all got multiple jobs. It sucks for everybody. I wish I had one job.
Again, you're ignoring my original point, which was minimum wage was created for what? That's where the disconnect
Google
is.
this.
No, but that's the
Because
disconnect.
most jobs.
That's the disconnect.
Most jobs hire part time because anything above 20 hours is full time, and then they have to pay bennies. No one wants to hand out bennies, so
No one wants to hand out
piece
bennies.
together 2 or 3.
I agree. That is a wild take.
You piece
What's
together
a wild
2 or
take?
3 part
How
time
many
jobs.
fucking
It's a
jobs do I
wild
have?
take that you think.
I have a Patreon with Rich. I'm working part-time at SiriusXM. I work part-time at Fox Sports Radio, and I'm still looking for more work. Okay? So the guy sitting on his hands, upset about minimum wage, how many jobs does he have?
I don't think
one job.
People think
Is
that
not enough for anybody.
That is the problem of this 63%.
But a part-time
Well,
job.
then you either fucking cry about it and drown, or you get another job until something figures
by
out.
definition,
I want one job too.
If
Can I
you
have
were-
one job?
If you were working a full-time job and you were barely getting paid minimum wage, or you were getting paid minimum wage for a
Those
full-time
aren't
job,
full-time jobs.
those aren't full-time jobs.
Exactly.
But if you're part-time, you know what part-time means? You're working part of the time at one job. So you know what you do? You work another job for the other part of the time.
Yeah.
To make
To at least
your wage.
to at least fucking get by.
You know what's better than making $15
I'm
an
not
hour
saying
for
it's
20
fair.
hours a
I'm
week?
saying you gotta
Making
do-
$15 an hour for 40 hours a week.
I'm not saying it's fair,
Or
dude.
60 hours
I'm
a week.
saying doing nothing is not going to get you fucking out of your situation.
You keep saying doing nothing, and agreed. Doing nothing will not get you out of the situation. I'm just pointing out that if there's a stat, which I find sad, that 63% of people are waiting for their check. Like, when's payday? When's pay? The fact that people are like, when's payday?
Yeah, it
I don't have
sucks.
money. Stinks.
It's getting late.
And it's sad.
Jason, yeah, I am looking at my personal experiences and expecting others to do that. You know why? Because hard work pays off. Again, my mom said it. Came from nothing, dude. Nothing. Dirt poor. And dirt poor people come to this country all the time and they prosper because they work and they work and they work.
Like I remember my mother. It's like she worked a full-time job, which still didn't pay enough. And then in the afternoon worked as like a receptionist just to get some extra money.
You know how many times I want to fucking turn down work and I don't? I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. But fuck, I'm going to have to. I bet you people are fucking lazy, dude.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that they're
Like
all out there on their fucking grind. Yeah, dude, I work at Applebee's and I work at Chili's and I work. No, they're not. They're fucking complaining because their part-time job isn't paying enough.
Like I work, like on Friday, I had to take off from yoga because I teach Friday nights. And you post your shift. No one wanted to take my shift. It was an easy few bucks that someone could have just went, taught an hour. No one wanted to take it. It wasn't because they had plans. No one wanted to take it.
Dude's got to teach yoga.
I mean, I teach yoga for fun.
Of course he does it for
I mean,
the money. It's extra money.
No, he does it because he likes it. He says the money he doesn't do it for the
But
money.
it's
He
extra
thinks-
money,
But
dude.
it does save me. It saves me
Free membership to yoga.
2 memberships a month because Kristen goes a lot. I get a +1 for free. So that's
How much you want to guarantee in this hypothetical?
That's like almost $400 right there.
This is misinformation. Okay,
Plus a few extra pocket.
But I should be allowed to tweet this if I wanted to. Out of the 63% who live check to check, how many of that percentage, just a guess, live beyond their means?
Right.
I would say like 50% of them. There's 13%
Grumpy.
of honest, like really poor, fucking struggling, doing everything they can.
Like I work with.
I bet you 50% of the 63% is living beyond their means.
I work with a girl at yoga who I know is like constantly complaining that she lives paycheck to paycheck, but is at the bar like 5 nights a week spending her paycheck.
Okay, and that's just one random example, dude. And that
She's
still
young,
doesn't
and
make
she's
it.
young,
That
and you-
still
I
doesn't
did the
make
same
it
thing when
right.
I was in my 20s.
But she could probably get by.
But
Could she buy a house and are things fucked up? Yeah, no one's disagreeing with that. But I bet you anything she has some designer shoes. She's fucking dressing to the nines.
Or she wearing like Walmart, Target stuff, just
I don't
getting
know,
by.
Is she just wearing Walmart,
she's not
Target
like
stuff?
fancy girl. She's not a fancy girl.
She's out every fucking night having
But
drinks.
she's out. That's what I'm saying. Like she's out every night having drinks. You know what you do?
I'm not out every night
You know how
having
many guys
drinks.
are buying her drinks?
But I can afford it.
No, you don't think guys are out buying her drinks?
No, you don't. Here's something else that people always say. Designer brands market to who?
Poor people.
So that poor people could look what?
Rich.
Right. That's how they survive. Rich people aren't buying this shit.
Yeah.
Stop buying shit you don't fucking need, jerk-offs, to at least balance the unbalanced world we live in. You think all these designer brands are fucking surviving on rich people buying that shit? It's people who shouldn't be buying that shit.
Yeah,
that's who they market
of course,
to.
But these are also
No, but these are also. Hey, I'm fluent in gibberish, Sudanese, and facts. That's a fact. Jack. So I'll be like, oh man, guess what? If you're flipping burgers, yeah, I know you can't afford a home. That sucks. Get another flipping burger job and stop buying fucking Yeezys. That's fact.
Are we done yet?
Yeah.
What planet are you on?
Any
Planet
longer,
fucking puto.
any
Because that's what
longer?
I'm looking at. A bunch of putos.
Any longer, and my hourly wage will be minimum wage if the show goes any longer. I get a finite amount per show, so any longer, and it's like I'm gonna make a minimum wage.
Anyway, it was a fun one. Fun show.
Good one. Good times.
Agreed. I'll say
I'm
this
gonna
to
send-
our baseline Trey. Culture has to change, but you have to survive in the meantime.
I gotta send Donnie Pompidou a bill.
Yeah, I mean,
Extra time.
you should. The whole point started with all these people living paycheck to paycheck, and why was minimum wage created in the first place? And if you go back to figure out why minimum wage was created in the first place, we've lost sight of that. Minimum wage was that you do this job,
and nothing's happening,
Listen.
right? Nothing's happening, right? About that. No one's disagreeing with your point, okay?
But something needs
to
to
happen.
happen
What
about that.
advice would you give the 63% right now who are like, my one job's not working, paycheck to paycheck, which I am sympathetic to? What advice would you give them? Complain about minimum wage was meant for what?
Vote people into your local politics that are promising changes. I don't know.
But until that happens,
I
what
don't know.
advice would you give them? Get another job on top of your other job, because that's what everybody's doing, and it sucks.
But that's hence the number 63.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, like if I lost this job, right? I was like, all right, well, I can fall back on yoga.
I'd be fucking bartending and cutting hair, dude.
I would be probably.
I wouldn't be sitting there like, fuck, man, I'm
I'd be
paycheck to paycheck.
I'd be teaching at different studios just to fill in shifts. I would be scrounging, where I could.
I might be going paycheck to paycheck, but I'd be doing as much as I could to fucking live comfortably.
Do we deserve more for what we do? Yes. But it ain't gonna happen. So you gotta do what you can to get by.
Vote local, not local. You guys are voting local.
Because
we're not disagreeing, Rich, at all. All I'm saying is, like, you could either like fucking cry about it, or you could like get another job, get multiple jobs, not another job, multiple
I'm just saying
jobs.
people could squander their money. I'm
it's
just
not
saying
it's not like they blindside you when you
I'm just
apply
saying-
for a job or take a job. It's not like they're like, oh, you want this job? Great. Oh, awesome. Now you have to go through the whole process. Once you say yes to the job, you have the job. You have to take the job. And then at the very end, they're like, oh, by the way, it pays $7.75 an hour. You know what you're getting into. So if you don't think it's enough for you, choose a different job that you want to take.
Covino's saying, well, you have no choices. Just take the job until it changes.
No, I'm saying get another job or multiple jobs.
There's only so many hours in the week.
Just saying.
Only so many.
There's things out there.
Someone's working 40 hours. If someone's working 40 hours a week at Walmart.
Here's where the disconnect
things
is.
out
We all
there
acknowledge there's a
that
problem,
people-
right? We all acknowledge there's a problem. But what you're not acknowledging is that there are other things that people could do to balance out the problem. Meaning, cut back on the shit they're spending money on.
I don't
and
think they're.
getting
I don't think.
other
I don't think all those people are spending as much as you think of. You do the simple math.
Shit.
All right. Do the
I
math.
just gave you the whole analogy about designer brands.
do the math. If someone's making,
These are the people buying that
if someone's
shit.
getting paid 35 hours a week times $15 an hour, times 5. They're making
Horseshit.
they're making less than $2,000 a month, and if rents in most
We
cities
all
are
know.
over
We all know
almost
people that are driving cars they shouldn't be driving. We all know people that are wearing clothes they shouldn't be wearing. We all know people that are going to places they shouldn't be going to.
I do somewhat.
So who the fuck do you think these people are?
I do somewhat agree with Stu Hotwagner that it isn't just about minimum wage. He said if you make $50K a year in some cities, you're considered poor or low income.
Why you do that?
Like 50K, getting by at 50K. If you lived in Manhattan,
I guess my stance.
But you know what? If I was making 50K in New York City, I wouldn't live in Manhattan. You know where I would live? In the burbs and take the train every day.
Yeah, like
you know how much a train is a month?
Yeah, but it's
$600.
But it's cheaper.
Higher than a car payment.
It's cheaper though.
It's cheaper. Not a monthly passes aren't that much, are they?
$600
for Long Island Railroad monthly pass.
Bullshit, dude. No. There's no fucking way. There's no way. You could have a Mercedes for that a month.
Depends on where you're commuting from.
For a bus pass? That's wild. You better get another job at Subway.
Let's see.
That's a lot.
Monthly. I don't know.
I could tell you my bus pass was never even close to the
monthly.
I
Long
think
Island?
mine was like $155 a month.
It's between $300 and $400 depending on your zone.
There
But
you go.
where I grew up, $415 a month.
That's expensive.
It is.
It's more high than
Still
my car
expensive
payment
by like $600. A lot.
Spending,
but that's also not a Metro card either. You're assuming you work at Penn Station.
Spending you walk. Spending $4,000.
You walk where? Uptown, downtown?
I used to walk from Penn Station to Sirius XM. And I used to walk from Grand Central Terminal to Sirius XM. It was a 10-minute walk. Both directions. But it's still cheaper than living in Manhattan.
Oh, yeah.
If you, like, let's say it costs $4,000 to live in Manhattan. It costs $2,000 to live in Jersey.
It costs $4,000 to live in Manhattan when we lived there.
Oh, okay, so $6,000, whatever. In Brooklyn, whatever. Yeah. Any of these places, it costs a lot. The farther you move out, the cheaper it is. But you have to take a train. Just saying.
Yeah, but what everyone also needs to understand is we all need multiple jobs.
My starting salary at Sirius, do you know what my
the
starting
whole
salary
world
at
is
Sirius
surviving
XM was?
on like multiple jobs.
Do you know what my starting salary at Sirius XM was when I started with your show? I took a pay cut. $32,000 a year.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
But that's your starting.
That was my
Covino
starting
Rich?
Sirius XM salary.
Holy
and I
shit.
tried to get it higher. I tried to get it I was like, can we at least do 40K? This is what I make. And like, no. I'm like,
wild.
I saw the opportunity, but I took it.
Man, I'm sorry, Spot.
You should be.
Yeah. You hitched your wagon to the wrong fucking caballos. Caballeros.
No, I had a lot of fun. I got paid in fun.
You got paid in gum, right?
I got paid in fun.
Yeah, it is late. Let's go. I got to record stuff like you do, I'm sure.
I got to go fucking step in time like Spot, make some more money.
Let's do it. I'll set you up.
Start do clogging. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hire a little fucking clogging kid to dance for me. Could that work or no?
If you would lend me your phone for like an hour, I'd make you money. You just give it to me, I'll walk.
Well, good luck, everybody. The new American dream is you need more than one job.
I agree.
To survive.
You know what?
So
that's not a dream.
Yeah, it sucks dick. I'm not saying it's dope. I'm just saying like, yo, I want to do one job too and chill out. We all do.
Well, have a good Wednesday. On that note, arrivederci, baby.
See you in the promised land.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Rock on!
Grumpies.